James Whale on Talk Radio.
But also, a lot of car companies can't be trusted, can they, as we found out with their testing. So who knows what's going to come out in the future about where they say, oh, these are all clean.
Talk Radio's car expert, Ash.
Yeah.
So you just told me the other day that you're paying, what is it, 700?
I paid £600 to...
You said it was 750.
560, the top band.
You said
so I can spew out as much
750.
CO2 as I want, but there's no particulates harming children. You're harming children with your, in the school.
No, I think you'll find mine doesn't have any particulates
yours maybe, that's
now.
what they say. It's
Very, very tense vibe.
Why don't we
between you
just
two.
get well, because he never drives the car. The car's dirty, it's disgusting. It puts out black smoke every time he turns the engine on.
That's extra. That's a smoke screen I've had put in.
And then it fires out oil and little taps as well.
Yeah.
Do you drive still?
Yes, I drive I have a car. Yes,
Good,
it's a
good.
white one.
Yeah. Well, there we are.
Petrol, not
I've
diesel.
got a black
Petrol.
one, he's got a white one. What colour's yours?
Mine's Galaxy Grey.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be, wouldn't it? Why does yours have to be Galaxy Grey? Why couldn't it
Don't
just
shoot
be
the
grey?
messenger. That's what it says in the brochure. Galaxy Grey.
You got tape. I had to buy a car this year, and I couldn't. You can't. They don't have tape decks in them anymore.
No. You can't have
very
tape
few of them
decks.
have got CD players.
No, they just got a hole, and you got
With a hole in it.
Well, I just got one that's really confusing because it hasn't got anything in it.
Oh.
And it's just a touch screen.
Surely there's got to be a knob in it.
No, there's no knob in it.
driving.
But the good thing is they all come with DAB radios now. They do as standard.
I've gone. You do whatever you want.
Gonna go and put a knob in his car
that's
again.
it, no. I'm not working with amateurs, that's it. I've had
Oh,
enough.
hey, come on.
I've had enough.
There's a little bit of.
You two
Why
can
not?
do it.
You've been working with me every night for years.
All right. Well, Ash.
And by the way, I don't want to work with you anymore, so you can go and work with him.
Oh,
You go on his show.
Are you
can
taking
stay
Cat?
in
Are you
now
having Cat?
for the next. No, I don't. I'm not.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm free to roll.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. In 1 hour, and my name is Iain Lee, dear listener. Good evening. Welcome to the Late Night Alternative. Who are you?
Doris Stokes.
Thank you very much. Oh, spooky vibes tonight. In 1 hour and 55 minutes, we will not be able to talk about politics, thank God, or Brexit, thank God, or any of those things. So, in the time I am allowed to say whatever I want, sack Rees-Mogg. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Sack that scumbag. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Now, regular listeners we want your spooky stories tonight, guys, because who knows, if it's good enough, it might make it into print. Regular listeners to the show will know that when we are low on callers or content, he says, laughingly, we dig out Chat It's Fate, which was, did I get that for you as a Christmas present last year?
Yeah, it was last year's Christmas present. I don't know how you're going to top that, to be honest.
Well, I'll get you another subscription for Chat It's Fate, probably. Best Christmas present ever?
Yes.
Huh? What kind of stuff does it have in there?
Well, let me tell you about the edition that I have in my hand here. November 19, front cover. It is always a treat.
Yes.
Gives you a little taster of what is within.
Yeah.
Get rich with the help of the dead. My wife was a gift from the fairies.
Ooh.
You're going to die, Mummy. And my son was right.
Whoa!
3 decades of hell because I summoned the devil.
Yep, you shouldn't mess with that stuff.
Sent by aliens to save the planet.
Oh.
I smell lilies, then death follows. And Samhain spells to make you shine.
And we genuinely love this magazine, and we approach it with a bit of tongue-in-cheek from time to time. Some of the stories, though, I totally devour.
It's
I think
a
they're
joy.
wonderful. I'm thrilled to say, and we've been promising this for weeks, Amanda Vlietstra is here, the editor of Chat It's Fate?
Editor of Chat It's Fate.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank
We've
you.
been talking about this for ages, and then I think there was something, everyone in your house had the lurgy, and then I think I had a week off, and then there were protests, and...
It's almost as if the spirits are trying to keep us apart.
Someone doesn't want us to talk about this stuff. That's what's going on. So nice to meet you, Amanda, because we've been exchanging tweets and emails for ages. Give us a little bit of background, your relationship with Chat It's Fate. How did you get involved with this?
I used to work on Chat, actually, which was this sort of, I don't know if you've seen Chat, it's just a Women's Weekly, and then they did the spin-off, and I got moved across to work on Chat It's Fate, and somehow I've never really left, so
But what
I've
was
been there
that?
12 years.
So Chat, the kind of stories they have in Chat, have I got this right? My husband was a serial killer and I didn't know it, or I ate my own leg to survive.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
That kind
Randy
of thing.
Grannies, that kind
hello.
of thing.
There we go. I didn't know it was a dating magazine. But so there must have been a meeting then in the Chat offices where someone went, Chat is going so well, it's going great. But I think we're missing out on the psychic and spiritual market. We're going to do a sister magazine that deals with the occult.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but it did. So yeah, that was before I started working it. So That was my predecessor, Mary. I think it was her idea actually, and I think she put the whole thing together. But they had a lot of spooky stories coming in, so they just decided to siphon it all off into a separate magazine.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
And I would like an honest answer.
Yes.
Do you believe in all that stuff?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes, I'm going to say I do.
Really?
Well, I have a slight reservation about aliens, but you know.
Oh, because aliens are the ones that
But you do believe it.
I do. I've seen a UFO.
Have you?
Genuinely,
Really?
I've seen a UFO. Me and my ex-wife saw a UFO about 12, 13 years ago.
Where was it?
It was up in the sky, surprisingly.
Well, yes, but
we lived in North London. I've told this story so many times, so I'll tell it briefly. We lived in North London, and we were in a first floor flat, and we stood out on this tiny little balcony. It was a Saturday evening, about 5 o'clock in the summer, very clear sky.
Yeah.
And one of us, my wife my ex-wife is a journalist. She's very, straight down the line. And one of us said, wouldn't it be funny if we saw a UFO now? And we went, yeah, wouldn't it be funny? And literally 2 minutes later, this bright, sort of yellow light just went across the sky. It was daylight. Went across the sky in a straight line, and I tapped her and said, can you see that? She went, yeah, I can. Wasn't an aeroplane, wasn't one of those Chinese lanterns, wasn't anything like that. It went very fast in a completely straight line, and we just looked at it and went, oh my God. And I was telling I got boys who are 7 and 9, and I was telling them this the other day. I said, no, we don't believe you. I said, guys, go and ask your mum. She wouldn't lie about something like that. And it's funny hearing her talking about it after all these years. She went, kind of reluctantly said, yeah, it did happen actually. What was it, mummy? I just don't know. So
Yeah.
I'm into that stuff.
Yeah. Well, weirdly, me and my husband also thought we saw one. We used to live in Ealing in London, and we were cycling along to, is it Northfields Park?
Yeah.
And Ian looked up and was just like, what is that? And there was this silver thing just hanging over the park. But because it was just there, we thought, oh, well, it must just be, a weather balloon or something. So to this day, no idea what that was. I still don't massively believe in them, but
Hang on, you're supposed to be a hard-nosed, spooky journalist. Did you not try and then phone up who would you phone up? I was going to say the FBI. I don't think they'd be much help.
No.
Catherine, who would you call in that?
I would possibly call
The RAF?
maybe RAF, British Aerospace.
British Airways. EasyJet.
The Met Office.
That's it.
I have a feeling that my son was 1 at the time and
Right.
probably in the basket in the front of Ian's bike and probably taking up all our attention. Alien's forgotten quite quickly.
I have to ask a personal question. You said your husband is called Ian. Can I ask how he's spelling that? Is he spelling it?
IAN.
Oh, okay, that's a shame. Okay.
One idea.
Now we have to ask you to leave, I'm afraid. We have one of those guys. So, were you... But you believe in ghosts and things?
I've been obsessed with this since I was a kid.
Really?
So, I absolutely have always been fascinated with anything to do with magic and ghosts.
Why?
Spirits. I have no idea. My mum and dad are dentists. It's just one of those things. And my mum's like, she hates that kind of thing. Her favourite book is Swallows and Amazons, so she has no idea where any of this has come from.
Right, okay, well, let's put our cards on the table. Catherine don't believe nothing.
Well,
come on.
No, here's the thing. When I was
We
younger,
went on a ghost hunt once in a haunted pub, and it was so embarrassing. It was just like, Catherine became very sarcastic and...
Really?
Could call out... Bloke was going, right, go on, guys, call out for the ghost. You just went, ghost! Nah, there's nothing here.
I never used to be like that. I think until I was probably about 25, I completely believed in everything.
Yeah.
But then I guess it's kind of part of growing up. The magic drifts away. And then I got taken to see a psychic, and she was obviously just a fraudster, and that was the last bit of magic snuffed out.
Well, I think that's part of it is growing up. You lose that spiritual connection with the magic world.
I've obviously just never grown up.
I was for a long time, when I was 20, I went on a crystal healing course.
Right.
There's this really nice, sort of mum's house. She was running this course, and it was all middle-aged women. And me, this sort of 20-year-old thing, and I bought into that for a long time, and then I didn't. But I would say within the last 2 or 3 years, Catherine, I have rediscovered...
You've opened your third eye.
I know, and I apologise for that. I was very drunk that night. It was not what I intended to be. No, I'm buying back into this. I think there is more than this physical world has to offer.
Yeah.
How do you get your stories? Is it all people writing in?
A lot of it is, yeah. I mean, I get a lot through social media. That's been really useful since, Facebook and all of that.
So someone will tweet, I saw a ghost the other day, and
then I'll chase it up. Yeah.
Wow.
But people obviously contact me directly as well with stories, so I get that a lot through social media as well. And I've got obviously some freelancers who are excellent who do various bits and pieces for us. It's you get them.
If you've got a spooky story of anything, 0344 499 1000. We want to hear it. Put your headphones on, please, Amanda. Okay. The editor of Chat It's Fate. We've got Alan Caddick on the line. If it's too loud, there's a volume. If you follow that cable, it'll go to a little volume knob. And you can...
Right.
Hello, Alan.
Hiya, boys. Hi, Kath. Hi, Amanda.
Hiya.
Alan, have you ever seen a ghost?
I've seen Ghostbusters loads of times.
That's a movie.
Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah,
that's my favourite movie.
Is it?
Oh, I love Ghostbusters.
Who's your favourite Ghostbuster?
I'm going to say Venkman.
Peter? Why Peter?
He's funny.
Alan's furious with you. Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, I tried to watch it with the kids. It's a bit inappropriate in some places.
I didn't realise when I was a kid just how predatory Peter Venkman is.
Yeah.
He's just always sniffing around. It's awful.
But I quite enjoyed the recent Ghostbusters. I thought that was...
What, the one with Melissa McCarthy?
That's the one, Alan, yes.
I wasn't a fan of that.
Well, you're not. It was okay.
I preferred the original with Bill Murray, then I called Howard Ramus.
There you go. Those are some of the names. So you've never seen a ghost yourself, or had any spooky encounters?
I did have a vision once.
Go on, what was your vision?
Of my nan.
Go on, tell us, go on.
She died in 2000. And I was sitting, I was looking my mum out, because she had to answer the call of nature, and the bin just moved.
And it was your nan moving the bins?
We thought my nan was blowing on the bin liner.
Your nan was blowing off on a bin liner?
No, she was blowing on the bin liner to make it move.
Would she have done that in life?
No.
So what made you think it was your nan then, Alan?
It was what I thought. It was my first thing I thought of.
Did your mum leave the toilet door open?
No.
Okay. Wow. And this is the important thing, how did it make you feel?
We were a bit spooked, but Wembley, we had a Ghostbuster in our family at the time, which was our dad, and he narrowed it down to the heat from the radiator moving the bin liner.
Okay, you probably shouldn't have told us that last bit of the story.
Some say Ghostbuster, some say scientist.
Amanda put her pen down, going, "This could be it was physics that did it." Thank you very much, Alan. I appreciate that, mate. And 0344 499 1000. We've got Amanda Vlietstra here, editor. Am I getting the name right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you, editor of Chat It's Fate. If you want to give us a call, you can. If you want to phone up about other stuff, you're more than welcome to. We carry on doing the nonsense, even though we've got a guest here for the first hour. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative with Iain and Kath on Talk Radio.
The late night lip service for lovers, loners and lounge lizards.
Yeah, well, where exactly is your accent from?
The late night alternative with Iain Lee
I've forgotten your name already, excuse me.
on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000. Iain and Kath, a pretty much political free zone. We might talk about before midnight while we can how Jacob Rees-Mogg should resign or be fired for his outrageous comments. But before we get anywhere near that, if you want to give us a call, I'd really like to hear your spooky stories. We had my kids came in once, and they would have been 6 and 8 at the time. And I said to them, if you want, you can come on the air, and you can ask a question, and we can put it out and see if people find it. And my 6-year-old had a question: have you ever seen a ghost? And it's a great question. And he was sat on the other side of it was a slightly smaller studio. He was sat there, and he asked it, and people phoned in with actual ghost stories. And he started shaking, and he started crying, and there was a story about a dog that was transparent.
No, they saw the outline of a cat. That's what it was. So the outline.
Yeah.
And he'd heard it as, well, that suggested to him, instead of being the silhouette of a cat, he was thinking of an inside-out cat.
Yeah. And then he sat on my lap and was sobbing. I said, "It's all right, son. I'll ask them." Yes, please, Em. He said, I said, "I'll ask them to stop telling the stories and they'll stop." He went, "No, I want them to carry on." And he was terrified. Got so much trouble with his mum because he was having nightmares for weeks after about that bloody cat. About that cat. We were talking in the break about ghost hunters. Thanks to Alan's comment there about having a Ghostbuster in the family. We've been on one we did the show from a haunted pub.
I've been on a couple in my career.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts?
We did one at the place where we used to work, because there was some links with a murder in the area. And lots of talk for years about, a haunted basement and stuff. So we had ghost hunters there once, I remember.
And did anything happen? It
was the same vibe again. For me, what I found is, and it may be that I've just been unlucky, but I've been around groups who seem to be, I don't know, sort of winding each other up. So one person would hear something, and then the other person said, "Oh yeah, and I also heard a dog barking. Did you hear that?" And it was all suggestion. And what I would really like is, some quiet, and to be, because sometimes the atmosphere of a place is, you can feel that. Even someone like me who is sceptical, there is an atmosphere. But if it's just listening to, it's like the politics within a group, it's kind of off-putting.
Amanda, you were saying, Amanda's editor of Chat's Fate, you were saying that you've not been on a ghost.
I've been to a few seances and so on. I haven't been on sort of one of those big kind of organised kind of things, but I've been to one at Oxford Castle.
Okay.
Did a seance there, and one at Lumley Castle.
When you say a seance, here's one of the weird things, right? I don't really believe in seances.
Yeah.
But we're not allowed to do one on the air. It's against the broadcasting rules. Yeah, we looked into it. You're not allowed to. In some way, you're not allowed to hypnotise someone live on the air. You're not allowed to do a seance.
And it's the same reason at the beginning of Most Haunted it'll say this is for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
But it seems funny, you know, I have a couple of Ouija boards at home for whatever, for some reason. And it would be against the rules of radio for me to bring it in and get a glass or a planchette and go, right, everyone, we're gonna do this and do it. Or I couldn't suggest now that we all hold hands and we summon the spirits.
I would never do a Ouija board. I've written so many Ouija board gone wrong stories in my career that there's no way I'm trying to...
No, it happens. I've got one on a friend of mine, a mate of mine, Dan, who's an artist, made one for me based around a guy called Frank Sidebottom. And it's a stunning work of art. It's in my living room. But we did a show once and I had this Ouija board with me and I got it out and I said, and I was about to do it. I said, well, look, is there anyone in the room who's scared of this? Because if you are, we will stop. And this woman at the back went, I'd really rather that you didn't. I went, not a problem, it's gone. We got rid of it. But so what are some of the things that you've heard?
Well, actually, when I was a kid, I did a Ouija board with a friend of mine and her two brothers.
Oh, you were such a weird kid. I love it. I think I was really quite like you. Yeah.
And it was all really strange. I can't remember what message did come through, but she used to live in the most sinister place by an abandoned insane asylum.
What? Amanda!
They kicked everyone out with the whole care in the community thing in Thatcher's time. So there was just this abandoned thing. So we were there doing a seance, doing it with the Ouija board, and it was all went really weird. And the glass that we were using smashed, but literally smashed in half.
Stop it.
And then I don't know and then a week later her brother had a really bad accident, so I have no idea if they were connected, but in my head that's always been, and it was really bad. I've always connected them mentally. So for me it's always been like something I would never go near, not after that. But
you were using yours as a mouse mat.
I was using it as a mouse mat for a while. And I kept going to like porny witch sites. It was very sexywitches.com. So you genuinely buy most of the stuff that's in your magazine. You're not one of those cynical editors going, get me those goddamn ghost stories. You're believing this.
But I talk to all these people and I know they believe it.
Yes.
Right.
So
that's the thing, isn't it? We're having, it's all in completely good faith, and they believe it, and I take them at their word. So yeah, let's put our headphones on.
That's the part I find fascinating.
Yeah, we've got Kev on the line. Good evening, Kev.
Good evening, sir. How are you? All right.
Very well, Kev. What have you got for us tonight?
I've got a couple of spooky stories.
Yes.
Makes me hair stand on end thinking about it.
Okay. Any chance you could turn your sat nav down a little bit, Kev? It's.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm on my way to a breakdown.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the Royal Navy. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, sorry, we're just doing really, really bad jokes. You carry on.
All right. I was in the Navy, and I was in the Adriatic on HMS Illustrious.
Yeah.
I haven't been on the ship that long. There's two stories, and they frightened me to death. And I needed a wee halfway through my watch.
Yes.
So to the heads, the toilets, and I was having there, and I heard someone sniff behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, that's just, someone in the trap, doing a number two.
Okay.
Anyway, I finished there, put it all away, turned round, and there was just a wall behind me.
Ooh.
A bulkhead. Frightened me to death. I went back in the ops room, white, and they would say, what's up with you? And I told them the story, and they all laughed at me. But the worst one is, the scariest one of them all, again on HMS Illustrious, we're at the ammunitioning buoys, so you weren't alongside anywhere, you were out to sea in the harbour. There's no one else about, no boats come there, because obviously put missiles and everything on the ship. And there's two gangways on the aircraft carrier. You have the ship's company one and the ceremonial one. And I was a quartermaster and I was on the ceremonial gangway. Because we had no officers or gold or VIPs coming on board, and it was like midnight on the middle watch, so we're bored. But in the ship's company gangway,
yes,
they have all the good magazines and things that you can have a look at.
I don't even want to know what those magazines might be, you dirty so-and-so.
No, nothing like that. Men's Health and things, etc., GQ and all that sort of stuff.
Big Boats
So
Weekly.
I went down, I went at a Navy News, obviously. So I went down there to in the QM's caboose, you call it, like a desk, in there to have a rummage through his magazines. Anyway, I heard someone go, shh. You imagine someone like putting your mouth to thing, shh. So I looked over, it's pitch black, there's no one there, we're at sea, sort of thing, anchored to a buoy, and I thought, oh God, what was that? I thought it was one of the stokers, the engineers doing his rounds, telling me to shut up. Anyway, but there was like the oil big, the big 50-gallon oil barrels
Yes, yes.
And I walked over to them thinking he's hiding behind that. So if you're sat at your desk, imagine someone coming right up to your face and going, shh, and you'll hear that and you'll see them. But that's what happened to me. Someone come right up to my face. It was cold anyway, so I went, shh. I've never sprinted and run down the hanger of that shit in any as quick as in my life. It absolutely fried. It's made me shake just thinking about it now. I've never seen a ghost.
Yeah.
But they're my two spooky things.
One has told you to shut up. And did you tell the rest of the people on the boat, or did you keep it to yourself?
No, I told everybody, obviously.
And did they have a similar experience?
When you're down the mess deck with a few tinnies, you get all the ghost stories now, like the white dog and things like that. But a lot of them are all like folklore or naval folklore, if you know what I mean. Spinning the dit, as they say.
Spinning the dick, did he say? Spinning
dit. Delta India Tango.
Oh, the dit, spinning the dick. I prefer spinning the dick, actually. But thank you, Kev, for that story. Thank you very much indeed. What does a story take, Amanda, to make it into Chat It's Fate? It's a great story from Kev. I'm guessing it's not quite enough. You need a bit more to get into your hallowed pages. What are you looking for?
Yeah, something a bit different. We get a lot of stories that are obviously people who've got people in spirit that are talking to them, sending signs, got a lot of signs, lots of feathers from angels. So, but I mean, those are still lovely. But yeah, I guess because we're into the hard stuff now, we've done all of those.
You're done with the feathers. You're done with you're done with Nana sending some feathers on the anniversary of death. You want the hard stuff.
We want the hard stuff. A bit of Satanism,
Look at her eyes.
She wants apparitions.
Glowing red.
I want demons. People like demons. But they do like all the angel stuff as well, so.
You would think that now in
I like you, Amanda.
2019, the demonic stuff would have died down because, religion is being less and less subscribed to. But the demons seem to be persisting, right?
An opening?
Yeah, exactly. The demon thing seems to persist.
Yeah, they're really popular. People love a demon and an entity. Although actually, if anyone's got an entity story, I would love an entity. I haven't had one of those for ages. We did a story I mentioned before.
Succubus.
Yeah.
You want a good succubus?
That would be fabulous. And also I'd love a curse. If somebody has a really good curse story, that would be amazing.
What's the difference between an entity and a ghost?
An entity possesses part of you, but it's sort of, it's not a person generally. It's a sort of untangible spirit.
Like a dark
vibe like thing. A sort of, it is kind of demonic, vaguely.
Let's stop beating around the bush. There's only one reason we got you in here. Catherine's got a big crush on Roy DeLune.
Oh my God.
This is the only reason you're here. We've done the chat, we've done the plugging. She wants Roy DeLune's phone number.
Now, I love Roy DeLune. I'm obsessed with him.
Now, just remind us and the listener what Roy does. He's got an amazing look.
Yes,
a very distinct look.
He's kind of part Robert Smith from The Cure, part Noel Fielding. Right? Okay.
Good-looking guy.
He's a renowned dream analyst and psychic phenomena guru with over 20 years' experience. I mean, for example, all right, let's just read this one out. This is from November 2019. This is the first one. A fishy tale. Dear Roy, spell R-O-I, by the way.
Of course.
I had a weird dream in which my 2 goldfish had died and I had to remove them from the fish tank. Only when I did, I found they had tiny cat's heads. And don't laugh, this is a dream.
Sorry.
And they had really bright staring eyes too. That's from Isabella Charlesworth, 31 from London. Dear Isabella, goldfish symbolise wealth and success, happy adventuring or emotional insights. The cat's heads could mean you're in a situation where your own feminine, emotional, sexual or independent spirit is under threat in some way. But you can see the threat clearly and you're not under any illusion about this. You've got this. So, he's given her solid advice there.
Wise advice.
And he gets paid for this, does he?
Yes.
Wow, he draws a wage for this.
Roy, what does he sound like, Roy DeLune?
I've met him at a party once, but I can't really remember.
Is he southern or is he northern?
I don't know. We mainly communicate over email. He's in America at the moment.
Telepathically.
So, yeah.
I would love to know what he sounds like.
And how do you find... Was Roy there when you came on board?
Yeah, I inherited Roy.
You inherited Roy?
Yeah.
And are those letters real? Come on now.
I think so. I mean, he sources them himself. But I think he gets them because he's on tour a lot. So, because quite a few of them are from America, which is where he's touring at the moment.
Right.
So I think they are people that.
So he does live shows.
Yeah, he does live shows.
Wow. Listen, our tongue is slightly in our cheek here, but I've got a lot of respect for so many of these people, and Roy has provided us with some great entertainment. He's on tour, Catherine. We could go and see a Roy.
I'm not going to follow him to America, but if he comes over here, I'll be there.
We'll go and see a Roy DeLune.
I'd love to.
Show. That'll be fantastic. Do you get... I suspect we might have a phone call. A couple of names on it. They're all good people, don't worry. But I suspect one of these phone calls is going to poo-poo you.
Okay.
And what you do... do you get a lot of emails or tweets, or do people get in touch and say, what is this crap that you are banging on about?
You get a few people taking the piss. Can I say that?
You can say taking the piss.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
But generally the people who contact us are interested in the subject.
Well, let's see where this goes then. Good evening, Ollie.
Hello, everybody.
Ollie has a very scientific mind.
That's fine. I'm married to a physics person.
No.
So, yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Here we
Degree
go.
in physics.
Here we go, Ollie. Argue with that.
Well, I wasn't come to argue. I was come to contribute.
Okay, go on.
But does It's Fate give out money for exclusive ghost stories?
What's the seller's story?
Sometimes, yes.
I want $25,000 for my story.
Drop me an email.
Oh.
Well, hang on a minute.
Should I save it for that?
Give us a little sniff of the story, and I'll tell you what it's worth financially.
I could be possessed by an entity.
Oh, right.
Wow.
You're going to angle yourself. You're going to become entity bait. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I think I have been, but there might be a scientific reason for it. But I would like to give you my story.
Well,
Brilliant.
Don't just phone up to broker a deal, Ollie. It's not how this works. Tell us a story. If it's good enough, Amanda will put you in her excellent magazine. But I suspect she probably won't, because already it sounds like crap.
When I was 14, I was very sleepy. And I woke from my sleepy state to find a shadow on the wall. And then I woke up and noticed the shadow moved.
Can I ask you not to tell the story, but try and get rid of that sarcastic tone?
Oh, sorry.
Doesn't do you any
Put the
favours.
drama in. People like the drama. It's like for the money.
I think he's going for an eldritch voice.
Okay, all right, here we go.
And when I noticed it didn't move with me. Yeah. It moved towards me into my body.
Did you feel any changes afterwards?
I felt really calm afterwards, actually.
Oh, a positive entity.
Which part of your body did it enter?
my midsection.
Oh.
Your belly button?
Or lower?
Maybe. But I would like to add some science now.
Okay.
I was deeply anorexic at the time and might have been seeing the whole thing.
Right.
Buzzkill, Ollie, thanks. Jeez.
She's just ripped up a cheque.
And it was for $25,000, Ollie.
Oh, no.
Unlucky. You used to listen, because Ollie phones the show a lot, and I've become friends with him off air, and we play video games together. You've always struck me as quite a fact-based person. Are you telling me now that you kind of buy into this stuff?
Well, I think all the time I knew I was anorexic, but I was spiritual at one point in time. I was like very religious because I went to a religious school.
Wow.
And then I went the other way.
You went Satanist?
Well,
that's the other way. Scientist. Okay, that's the midway.
Right.
The midway.
Yeah. How does the marriage work with a science person?
Well, that's a very personal question. That's a great question. How does your marriage work? Because mine didn't.
We get on surprisingly well.
Yeah, my
we just
wife
don't talk ghosts or physics. It's fine.
Really?
No, we do a bit. Not physics, because that's really boring.
Does it? Well, physics is. Well, here's the thing. It's possible that some physics can explain some psychic phenomena, and vice versa. There is a kind of connection. Yeah. And also, I heard I was listening to a show on here on this station, and David Baddiel was on, and he's written a play where a physicist is kind of forced to admit, using maths, that actually there is a chance that God could exist. It's a tiny chance, or that miracles could happen. It's a tiny chance. Stay there, Ollie, don't worry. But shut up. It's a tiny chance, but mathematically a miracle could... Please be quiet, Ollie. I'm talking to the guest. Sorry. Thank you. Unbelievable. Mathematically a miracle could happen.
Check is working out.
Right, I'm cutting you off. Goodbye. And David Baddiel said that he spoke to Brian, he spoke to a physicist about all of this, and that there are huge parts of physics that you kind of just have to believe in. There's no real evidence for it. It's just a theory. You just have to believe in it in the same way you have to believe in God, or you can believe in ghosts and things like that.
Right, so there's an element of faith required.
There's an element of faith in it because you just cannot explain this theory. You know, there is no evidence, tangible evidence that this theory works. I think it's quantum physics or something, string theory or something.
Yeah, because you can get to time travel through that as well, can't you?
Yeah. So he doesn't buy ghosts, your husband, he's not?
Actually, well, he doesn't, but then we do live in a haunted house, so he has had a ghostly experience that he can't find a scientific reason for.
What happened in your house?
I was out with my son, up at the yard with my horse, and he was putting our daughter to bed. She was about 7 at the time, so this must have been, oh no, she was a bit younger actually. But yeah, so he was putting her to bed in her bedroom. He was on his own. He heard what he thought was me come in through the front door, walk up the stairs, and then knock on her bedroom door, which he thought was odd, because why would I knock on her door? I mean, he turned down and said, come in. Nobody there. And I got back about 10 minutes later, and he was completely freaked out. And he says, you know, being a science person, he just can't explain it, but he thinks there must be a rational explanation for it.
I love it. What is, we haven't got the December issue
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
Should arrive around the 15th.
Do we know, are you allowed to tease what might become, oh, you don't know, do you? I've put you on the spot.
There's January, is it December?
I'm on November.
December's out now.
Oh, maybe your subscription's ended. That is a possibility. That's a distinct possibility. See, I thought he only signed you up for 6 months, but we got a year's worth.
Spooky.
So
yeah, we've got Angels, this one. What else have we got in there? I generally like a balance of angels and demons.
Yeah. Oh, good and evil. You've got to get the 50-50.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I think, you know, my readers are about 50-50 on the sort of happy fluffy unicorns and the hands coming out of graves.
Yeah.
So I like to get a balance between the two. So yeah, so I think I can't actually remember what's in it.
I like
I'm
you.
on January now. I've almost finished January, so.
I like you a lot because I wasn't sure. I kind of expected a Stevie Nicks kind of slightly, you know, flowery skirts and you know what, that kind of vibe. And you've come in and you're straight down the line. You're very sensible and very, you know, matter of fact and with it. And you know what I was expecting, Catherine, a kind of.
To waft in smelling of joss sticks.
That was it. I was expecting a witch to waft in smelling of joss sticks. I don't know where these calls are going to go. Let's try Gary first. Good evening, Gary.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Gary. What you got for us?
Backstory, or just want the exorcism bit?
Wow.
That all sounds good.
Let's give us whatever you want to give us, Gary. This sounds like gold, mate.
Hello?
Gary?
Oh no, I want the exorcism story now.
Gary?
Come back.
I'm here.
Yeah, what happened?
I've got... it's a long story. I've got my phone... I'm going to pull over. Wait there.
All right, we'll come to you in a minute, Gary. God, this is... I think that's a phone call from beyond the grave itself. Tyrell, how am I pronouncing your name?
It's Tyrell.
Okay, there we go, Tyrell. What have you got for us tonight?
Hi, Ian. Hi, Kath.
Hi.
It's the first time I've ever rung a radio station, so you'll just have to excuse me if I'm a bit nervous.
Okay.
I love your show. I've been listening to it for a couple of months, and I'm hooked every night now. I had a paranormal experience when I was 12, when I was at boarding school. We used to watch movies up at the school chapel, which was detached from the main building. And after we'd watched a film one night, we were ushering all the younger kids into their dormitories. And as I went down into the main building, I could see a light downstairs where we used to have an old school notice board.
Yes.
And we had an old school notice board and the new school notice board were at opposite 90-degree angles to each other. And when I looked over the staircase, I could see a boy reading off the notice board, off the old notice board, but there was nothing on it.
Yes.
So I shouted down to him and told him to go to bed, and he just ignored me. So I went down the spiral staircase to shout him again to tell him to go to bed. And as I got closer to him, I just got a really strange feeling. I got very, very cold, and I started to feel upset. So I went a little bit closer. I was sort of drawn to him, and then he turned round, and his eye sockets were hollow. There was nothing there.
That is terrifying.
But he looked at me, he looked through me, and he just smiled. Well, I ran screaming upstairs, shouted the other prefect, and we charged through all the dormitories, because we thought somebody was playing a joke.
Yes, I know that feeling, yes.
And all the other kids were in bed. There was nobody out of their bed. Anyway, the next day I went to one of the senior teachers in the school who'd been there the longest, and I asked him, has there ever been a ghost experience at the school? So he asked me what had happened, and I told him, and he went very quiet. And then he spoke to me about a boy who was at the school in the 1930s, and the boy used to chew the buttons off his rugby shirt. And what had happened was a button had got lodged in his throat. And because the button couldn't be picked up by anybody, it couldn't be seen because it had lodged quite low down, he gradually became very ill and he died.
Yeah.
And the teacher took me into the school grounds. And at the far end of the school grounds is about 70, 80 acres of school grounds. At the far end of the school grounds in the woods was a memorial stone to this boy, dated up until the year that he died. And everything, the old notice board, which hadn't been used for years, everything sort of fitted into place. And ever since then, I've been able to detect spirits.
Wow.
So I can go into buildings and sense whether or not there is a spirit living within that area.
Now Amanda, this is a great story. Now, supposing you'd met Tyrell and he told you this story, would you just take him at face value? There's no way you can kind of fact check this, is there?
He obviously means it.
Yeah, he's telling it in a very convincing way.
That's a brilliant story.
I can give you the name of the school, you see, so it could be sort of cross-referenced from that. The school's actually closed down now.
Okay.
But the
so you now would say that you have what some people might call the gift.
I can hear spirits. They do try and talk to me. But I seem to have a bit of a blockage because whenever I try to converse with any of them, I have difficulty crossing the plane. So although they can shout my name or say hello or cough or walk through me, or even though their very presence in the building that I'm in, or I can go into a building and say, there's a presence here, but I can't seem to be able to take it any further.
Okay.
I think that's what most people, realistically, they're ghosts, aren't they? If they could communicate fully, they'd be doing that, but they can't.
Now that's left me uncomfortable, and that's left Catherine smirking.
No, not smirking. That's not fair. I'm not smirking.
No,
I was trying to work out how...
I was here's the thing. Sometimes we get a lot of prank callers, Amanda. So I'm always waiting for the punchline.
I was waiting for the punchline.
I'm always waiting for the gag.
Didn't quite understand why he had hollow eyes. If I'm honest.
He's eating buttons, wasn't it?
He's just dead.
It's just dead.
They don't look good.
Why so horrific? Yeah, that was the bit where I kind of waited for the punchline that something was going to happen. But it didn't come.
All right,
I found it fascinating, and obviously Tyrell believed what he was saying.
Thank you. Let's go to Gary. I want to hear Gary's exorcism before we have a quick break. Go on, Gary.
Well, do you want a bit of a backstory, or do you want me to just go straight into it?
Well, I whatever works best.
Well, I'll give you a quick backstory. I just taken up photography, and a friend of mine asked me if I wanted some work, and I said, well, what is it? I need to know exactly what it is. So she goes, well, just go and meet him. So I went to meet this guy, right, and he wanted an aura photographer.
Yeah.
Right, do you know what an aura is?
I know what an aura is. It's the energy that surrounds us.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And we've all got one, and he had this machine and this camera, and, it took photographs of your aura. He just wanted someone to man it, really. It's not like you need a degree in photography or anything to do it. So anyway, I goes, yeah, whatever, he's going to pay me. And so I started working with him. We'd go to all these psychic fairs. He'd make a packet of money doing these 50 quid a time, you know what I mean? And he'd read the photograph. Anyway, right, this guy used to make money hand over fist. I couldn't believe how much money he was making from his psychic powers. One day, we went to this woman's house, and this is the sort of exorcism bit. It wasn't she was having a problem with a friend of hers who was giving her really bad energy and sucking her dry. Do you know what I mean? Like, psychic vampire type person. Yes. And she wanted a shot of her. So me and his name was Vince, went round to her house. We're in her kitchen.
Gary and
quite
Vince.
A big kitchen. What?
Gary and Vince doing an exorcism, yes.
That's...
I like it. It's a good team. I'd watch that.
Do you know what? I never thought about it that way. Yeah.
Go on.
Anyway, so we're in the kitchen, right? He's got a chair, he's put it in the middle of the kitchen, and he sat her down, right? And he's got out this bundle of twigs, which I understand is sage now, and it's all, wrapped up. And he's lit it, and it's smoking. And I'm not joking, he's walking around her, and he's doing like a Native American, around
Absolutely
her.
spot on impression, yeah.
Right? I'm laughing because it's hysterical, but this is true.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, he's walking around it, I'm watching thinking, this is barking, man, what's the matter with me? What am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? I'm doing this for money.
Yeah.
Anyway, so anyway, he's kind of stopped and he's held it at her chest in front of her, right? And Vince has turned around to me and he said, can you hold this here for a minute? So I was like, yeah, whatever. I've grabbed it, I didn't move it, I just held it in the same position that he'd had it in, and all of a sudden I had this bolt of energy go through my hand, through my wrist, all the way up my arm, and bashed me in the chest. Whatever it was, walloped straight into me. Scared the bejesus out of me. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Is it still in there? Sorry?
Is it still in there?
You tell me, love.
What a bolt of energy. I love it.
I don't know if it was like his energy or the bad energy that she was expelling. I imagine it was his energy rather than hers.
Yeah.
Because otherwise...
But you felt it. You physically...
I absolutely felt it. Yeah, it was like electric, honestly. This was like 25, 30 years ago. Couldn't believe it. Honestly, right, listen. And beforehand, right, I used to be like, it's all a load of mumbo-jumbo, what a load of nonsense. But working with Vince for that length of time, I could see things happening and I couldn't explain them. I was listening to him giving readings, and honestly, it was like, none of this couldn't be primed for my benefit, so I don't know where he was getting it from.
You sound like a very sensible, down-to-earth geezer, wallop, you know. So, Amanda, when you hear something like this...
Yeah.
I believe Gary's story.
Yeah, I'm thinking get
listen,
Vince in the mouth.
What I'm saying happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was a spirit or whatever. I'm just saying that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Right? As I say, I'm still a bit sceptic. My mum, when she was a kid, she said she saw a ghost and it was lying on the road. I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's like, that's what she used to say. But then again, in 1977, we got burgled, right? And this is in Slough, just up the road from Britwell, where you come from,
I used to live in Britwell, yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in Rowan Way on the estate there. Do you know that one?
I do know. I was a month away.
Farnham Road.
Yes.
I used to live there.
Yes.
Anyway, we got burgled, and my mum suspected my auntie's husband of burgling us. So she went to a séance. Yeah. Right? Yes. This is like a little Italian peasant woman.
Yes.
Who went to a séance in 1977, right? I'll tell you why I remember it was 1977. Because it was just after Elvis had died, and Elvis...
The show finishes at 1 o'clock, Gary, just to flag that up.
Well, I haven't even known me. I've still got half an hour drive. But yeah, Elvis, it wasn't Elvis, but it was somebody talking about Elvis.
What happened at the séance?
That was it. It's something to do with Elvis.
Okay,
right,
go. Yes, go on.
They did describe the person who burgled the house.
Yeah.
And he did look a bit like. He did sound like me auntie's husband, my stroke uncle-in-law.
And was it him?
Don't know.
Great story, Gary. Great story.
So
I would have ended with the wallop, the bolt of energy in the chest. But that's the thing. We'll take one more call. Let's put those two breaks together so we can finish a little bit early. We'll speak to Stuart in a second. Chris and Alistair, we won't have time for you this hour, but we will speak to you in the next hour. Stuart, I'll come to you. But that's the thing. I believe Gary's story.
Yeah, I believe him.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if he imagined it, but I believe that he believes that happened, and that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all you can take away
Yeah.
from that. Have you had any stories that have been too scary to put in?
Nothing that's
Chatter's
been
bag?
too scary. No.
You're quite warped. You've got a sick
I'm
side.
very warped. So
you put it in there. I've got to ask.
Yeah.
The haunted arse.
Yes.
You mentioned this on an email.
Yeah.
What is the story about a haunted arse?
So it was a few years ago, and the story came through a freelance, but I did the read back where you ring the person and read their story back to them to check they're all happy with it. And he was a young guy, quite good looking, about 25 I think, and he claimed that he heard when he farted, he heard a satanic voice saying his name. He said it with very sincerely as well.
Gosh, that explains you.
That's right.
There's also a sulphur smell.
Give you that.
Wow.
And he had himself exorcised.
Where'd they put that sage?
Wowzers! There's a story.
The thing is, though, if you are the devil, you're going to do something like that because no one will believe them.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from me. Almost no one will believe them.
Golly gosh. Isn't that amazing? So we've had a couple of people who've been featured in the magazine come on, and they've been so delightful, haven't they? So really delightful. I'm struggling to remember the first person
one.
that we
Was it a witch-based thing?
could have been a witch-based thing. I remember the young woman with the tea shop and her husband who'd been poorly.
Yes.
But I can't remember what the other one was, but they were very delightful.
And here's the thing, I don't disbelieve the people we've spoken to. I have spoken to some people who I don't believe.
Yeah.
But the people we've spoken to recently, and I have spoken to people in my past, as a reporter, and I believe that that's what happened to them, right? Just because that sort of thing hasn't happened to me doesn't mean it's not possible.
We've had some good calls. Should we risk one more call before we let Amanda out? We unlock the door and let her go. Let's try Stuart. Good evening, Stuart.
Hello, Ian. Sorry, I've been giggling away in the background there. My story's not as good as the arse story, I don't think. But
but which story is?
Well, go on. What have you got, Stuart?
So basically, back in school, went into sports, and I was obsessed with my pulse. Okay, so getting it as low as possible.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in my lounge with my fingers on my artery counting, and I got down to 34 per minute, which is really, really low.
Yeah.
My mum was in the lounge, my brother was in the lounge, and then all of a sudden, I was looking from above. I left my body, basically. Now, I don't know how long this lasted, but I soon got snapped back, and my mum and my brother were looking at me, worried. Now, however I looked when I was doing that, I have no idea, but it scared the heck out of me, and I stopped delving into getting my pulse as low as possible.
How did you make your pulse as low as possible? Was it like breathing?
Breathing exercises. Just sat down, legs crossed. I guess you'd call it meditation, but I was just
so tempted to ask you to do it now, but I won't.
Oh, honestly,
it scared you, didn't it?
It did scare me, but it's just.
What do you think? What do you think happened?
I have no idea. Part of me thinks, did I actually die? My pulse was so low, but I don't know. I don't know what.
And have you spoken? How old were you when you did this?
14, 15.
And have you spoken to your mum, more recently about it? Remember that time?
No, I've never told her that I saw from above. I left, I was looking down.
Is your mum still with us?
Yeah.
Could you have that conversation with her now? Do you think she'd remember?
Oh, I doubt she would remember.
Right.
She's a bit, I don't think so. I don't know if my brother would either. I mean, my brother's 3 years older than me, but they both were looking at me and asked me if I was okay.
God, have a chat with your brother. Say, do you remember that time when it looked like I passed down? Well, and if he remembers it, say, look, this sounds crazy, but this is what was going on for me.
Yeah.
Stuart, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I love the way, man, you just sit there nodding very sagely, hearing these stories.
I was slightly jealous of his out-of-body experience. I'd love one.
I bought a book when I went to university. I bought a book on how to astral project.
Did you?
I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't do it because I was into hypnotism. I learned hypnotism, and this at the time, I don't see it as much such now. This astral projection looked like the next kind of step forward, but I couldn't do it. There's all these tricks about you go to bed thirsty and you put a glass of water in the kitchen and I would just wake up and go and get the glass of water, so it didn't happen. No. You've never had anything?
I can lucid dream sometimes, when you control your dreams.
Yeah.
But I've never astrally projected. That would be amazing. I've done quite a lot of these things. I've done a bit of, shamanic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all fascinating. And stuff does happen. So, yeah, it's great.
What do you do in your lucid dreams? Because I have had them a few times, and then I just do really boring
Yeah, so do I. Really dull things. Like, mainly I'm like, wow, I'm lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Get me.
Yeah, that's it. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
Where you recognise that you're dreaming.
Yeah, that's it.
And then what tends to happen is you just control it so things stop being nuts.
And then you're flying, and then you're like, actually, I can just stop now. And then you're like, oh, I can't do that now.
Oh.
That was a good bit. Yeah.
Okay, so the January issue you're compiling now.
Yeah, just finishing that off
Give us a headline from that. What can we expect? I mean, you'll hear it on this show at some point.
A rapist goes pinch my bum. And we've got that's our lead story.
That bombshell. Amanda, it's so nice to meet you.
Thank
you so much for coming in, and I appreciate your patience at sorting this out.
And thank you for chatting to Fate, because it's a joy.
It's so good, isn't it?
I'm so pleased to hear that.
We ordered it online. You got your subscription online. You can get it in like Smith's and your usual.
Yeah, you can buy it from Lidl, Asda.
And it's just in the sort of, I hate to say this I don't mean it to sound demeaning, what we might call in the olden days the sort of women's section.
It's generally with the weeklies.
Okay. Amanda Vlietstra, it's so nice to meet you. Keep doing the good work. Send our love to Roy DeLune. We will carry on with your phone calls. Amanda's going, but I'm more than happy to carry on taking your spooky phone calls. Or, we'll do the usual nonsense. 0344, I'm so late for the news. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
They sack him here, they sacked him there. Sometimes it's harsh, sometimes it's fair. They'll sack him again, my friends, this we all know. Until then, it's the Iain Lee Show.
0344 499 1000. We're just saying, I'm Iain Lee. I was in I'm a Celebrity a couple of years ago, and other stuff. Catherine Boyle has been.
I've done nothing with my life.
Exactly. She produces this rubbish. She co-hosts this rubbish. She does more than me. Wasn't Amanda lovely?
Yeah, really nice.
That hour could have been a bit ropey, and actually it was brilliant. We've got some great stories from you, dear listener, so thank you for those. I was waiting for the punch to the guts, and we didn't get one.
No.
We didn't get one.
That one story where it got quite gory, I thought, this is going a bit further than the usual.
Yeah.
I wonder where it's going to lead.
She was rubbing her hands with glee, though, Amanda.
Well, she likes it gory, that's why. But yeah, it's interesting. I do find it fascinating, the things that, that aside, because if you did see that, that's something else. But the explanations that we'll jump to in our minds. And I've shocked myself by doing that in the past. Like, I woke up in the middle of an earthquake and assumed it was a poltergeist straight away. That was the thing I went for. I had a weird dream once. It must have been a weird dream. But it was during the time when I'd had toddlers. So I had my eldest, and she must have been about 2, and she was in her own bed rather than in a cot. Yeah. And so it wasn't unusual for her to sort of wander out, but she was pretty good at staying in her own bed. And there was this one night where I kind of woke up, was half awake, and I could see this figure that looked like the outline of her, like sort of golden curls, and standing at the side of my bed. And then as I focused, there was no face. But that must have been a dream, right?
Yeah,
that must have been a dream.
Yeah, it was a dream. That was a dream.
Because, right, this is another thing.
we go.
How many of these spooky stories happen when people are just waking up or just falling asleep?
Yeah.
But my sister will swear that she's seen things vividly. My mum will swear that she's seen things vividly. There's a whole, that side of my family is pretty
But also, here's the thing. I think maybe sometimes we question these stories too much. I just enjoy the story. I retweeted the other day, Halloween, a great thread on Twitter about a guy who said, look, here's something I've never told anyone, but when I was a kid, I used to sneak down into the kitchen and I would, I was like 7, 8 years old, and I worked out I could eat whatever food I wanted. My parents never noticed. And I did this for a few months, and one night I went down and I saw a figure hunched over the kitchen table that was sat there. It was a man, and it was eating food. It was making sandwiches and eating food, and I stood and watched it, and I was terrified, and I ran upstairs and I hid under my bed covers. And in the morning I told my parents exactly what I'd seen, and they looked and they looked and they couldn't find any evidence whatsoever, and I was in really big trouble. I forgot about it, and then about a year later I heard a rustling in the air conditioning just above my bed, in the wall, a rustling. And I hid, and I was terrified, and this rustling got noisier and noisier, and eventually I ran out and I told my parents, and they looked and they found where a man had been sleeping for over a year in the air vents, watching me from my bed.
Right, you've completely balls it up.
Sorry?
So towards the end, no, so put the mute back on.
Okay.
So towards the end it's, and sometimes I would get the feeling I was being watched, ... A year later.
Okay, pretty much.
Wait, there was a terrible smell coming out of the air vents in our home.
Terrible smell coming out of my bum at the moment.
I know, I noticed, I didn't want to mention it. We decided to investigate it. And when the heating engineer went inside the air vents, he found a man who died, who'd obviously been living in there.
Yeah.
There was a cushion next to the vent in my bedroom, and there were also notes and drawings.
There we go.
And they wouldn't tell me what the drawings were of.
Okay, right. Okay.
That's the end of the story.
Okay, right now, whatever, it's pretty much what I said. Obviously bullshine. But it was just a great story, really well told better by me. But it was a great story, really well told, and sometimes I just think, just let the story be the story. Just accept the story for what it is. Laura said, Laura, give us a call. 0344. Oh no, Laura's fake. Oh no, Laura might be real. Or Laura might be fake. Laura might be fake. I think Laura's fake. Yeah, Laura's fake, so I'm gonna block Laura. So no, don't give us a call because you're fake. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You'd be very welcome. Hang on, right, it's 11:10, so I can play this. Watch Nicola Sturgeon singing the Monkees hit I'm a Believer on Campaign. What is this? Scotsman website. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has struck the right chord with her supporters whilst on the campaign trail. Footage has emerged of Nicola Sturgeon on the campaign trail singing along to the Monkees hit I'm a Believer. The First Minister appeared, Ibanez acoustic guitar in hand, at Dalkeith Community Hub in Midlothian. Sorry?
She took a guitar?
Got to have a listen to this. We're allowed to play this now, aren't we? Yeah, watch the video. I don't care about cookies. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Nicola Sturgeon singing the classics of adverts. Flipping adverts. Someone tweet this to Mickey Dolenz. He loves all this, this kind of stuff. You can give us a call about your spooky stories. Or if you just want to phone up and have a little, chitty chat. If you want to tell me I'm an idiot, because I'm getting those 2 kittens. Pretty much. I had a cheeky phone call. It looks like next week I'm getting 2 kittens. Even my boys said, Dad, your house is going to stink. Here we go. Here's Nicola Sturgeon singing I'm a Believer. Oh, why can't we hear? There we go. It looks like a Christian weekend away.
Is she playing that?
No, it's two old men. She's not singing just yet, and she's not playing. She's holding, but not playing. I don't think she's singing. She's not singing. That's other people.
Oh.
She's just sat there holding a guitar and
awkwardly.
not playing. Cheats never prosper. If you want to tell us your stories of cheats prospering, by the way, always happy to hear those. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Shane.
Evening, sir.
Shane, what have you got for us tonight, please?
And madam. What have I got for you? Something spooky.
Yeah.
Keith Flint possessions are for sale on Thursday at an auction in Cambridge.
Oh, I saw this. Yes. How long ago did Keith Flint pass? 3 months?
Don't know.
Oh, turn your radio off, you muppet.
Hang on, let's check.
It's better.
4th of March 2019.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's only 7 months ago. Wow. November. 8 months ago. Flipping heck.
Would you buy his sofa?
I don't need a sofa.
Would you buy his trainers?
I don't need any trainers, but I bet... Here's the thing, right? Rock memorabilia goes for an absolute fortune. There'll be people that will buy that stuff. Of course there will.
Okay, would you buy his turntables and mixers?
Oh, I bet they'll go for an absolute packet.
If you pardon the expression.
Well, do you not think... I don't know. I don't get the innuendo. Why are you... I don't understand why you're finding this funny. What bit of this do you not get?
Don't understand.
No, I don't understand what... You're asking me if I would buy something, then laughing when I say probably. I don't understand why you're telling me about Keith Flint. I don't understand what you don't understand.
Because it's spooky.
How is it spooky?
To buy a dead person's possessions.
Are you joking? People buy dead people's... Have you never heard of antiques? They're dead people's possessions.
You can see the dust on his turntables.
Right.
Have you seen the website?
No.
Have a look. Have a look at the collection.
Okay, well, what is... Okay. Keith...
It's the sale room. It's, Cambridge.
Keith Flint auction. Okay, Keith Flint's...
Cheffins.
Personal possessions. Yeah, there's a load of gold discs. There's some artwork. There's a picture of... It looks like... Is that Mr. T looking a woman up? Yeah.
You're joking.
It's a painting. Loads of gold discs. There's his bed. Loads of posters, records, hats. Yes, it looks like a great collection. I don't get what the problem is.
I just find it a bit weird.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Keep it all in storage? Burn it? Give it to a charity shop? What are you going to do with it?
Wear it, probably.
Who's going to wear it?
Someone would.
Who? Are you high or something? Because this is making no linear sense. That's why people will buy it, to either wear it or to, huge fans of The Prodigy, who were a huge band, so they can go up. We all like having... We don't all like, let me take that back. There are many people who like having possessions that belonged to their idols.
True.
Thanks very much for your call, Shane. If anyone knows what that was about, then answers on the back of a postcard, please. Let's go to Leslie. Good evening, Leslie.
Hello, Ian. Hello, Kath.
Hey, Leslie.
Hey, Leslie, what you got for us?
I'm Leslie in France. It's my second time calling.
Bonjour, madame, bonjour.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir, monsieur, bonsoir.
Monsieur, what are you on about?
Le croque monsieur, madame. That's almost. You could work that into a lovely.
You're nearly fluent there.
Thank you. You could work that into a lovely Abbott and Costello sketch. Your croque monsieur, madame. I didn't ask for a croque monsieur, madame. I asked for a croque madame, monsieur. You know, there's something. There's something there. With a bit of work, I could fashion
very
something.
good. You need to work on the accent just a wee bit.
You can talk with your broad Irish accent there.
Scottish.
Okay, apologies.
And I heard you making a fool of my wee Nicola.
I wasn't. I just thought the video. I thought the video was supposed to be her singing "I'm a Believer," and it's not.
Only kidding. I'm phoning you with not a spooky thing, but a weird thing.
Go on.
I'm not religious, but I was brought up that kind of way.
Yeah.
And my poor mummy. I'm not trying to be morbid, but my poor mummy died at 61, so very young. But there was a time when we actually managed to talk about afterlife, which is a difficult subject, but we actually had a bit of a laugh about it. Yeah. We decided to make up a password. So if anyone ever said to me, you know how you get some people saying, I've got a message from them. Yeah. If I was ever in that situation, then I'd go, what's the password? And then I'd know if it was really from her. So we had a bit of a giggle and we thought of a ridiculous password that no one would associate with her.
Yeah.
And no one could ever guess. They really wouldn't. And I'm not even going to say it because I didn't even tell my partner at the time because I thought I need to know that I have not told a single person in the whole world so that if it ever happens I can't go, oh, well, such and such might have said to such and such and said, don't say anything. So I made sure no one else knew. And you wouldn't guess. So today I was having a wee dilemma and I was thinking, oh, God, I really do with having a chat with my mum. And then my aunt sent me a picture just to say that she'd just come across a card that my mum sent her, and it made her think of her, and I said, funny, I was thinking about her today as well. Yeah. And she said, well, maybe it's a sign, maybe you have to talk to me instead. And I jokingly said to her, yeah, but what's the password, Big Viv, right? Yeah. Now, she doesn't know what I'm talking about, and she instantly wrote the word back to me.
No!
I'm not joking. And then I went on video call, and I couldn't even speak to her. I wasn't upset, but I didn't know how to cope with it because that was, for me and my mum, well, particularly for me, I was thinking, I'll definitely know. That is definitely, I will know that
could your mum have played,
trying to communicate.
Could your mum have played a password game with Big Viv?
No, because, no, Big Viv lives, no, she hasn't.
So there's no way that she played that game?
My mum basically was unconscious practically within a couple of days of that because the morphine, they up the morphine and stuff, and then you just sleep for a long time. There's no way. No, there's no way. And if my mum was ever going to tell anyone, it'd be my sister and brother, and she wouldn't. And they don't know it.
Holy
So I don't know quite how to. I don't know whether to be excited and I kind of feel like I should be more gobsmacked. Because I thought if it ever happened, but I never expected it to happen.
Gosh.
You'd expect yourself to go, oh my God, it's amazing, there's an afterlife or they can communicate. But it's so weird today.
It did that, and that happened today?
You say it's a coincidence.
Yeah, that just happened a couple hours ago.
You say it's coincidence, Ian, but how extraordinary was the word? It wasn't something that you would just slip into.
Okay, I'll tell you the password.
No, it wouldn't be something
dessert.
like, oh, don't, because you might, if you get it right, then I will.
Is it dessert?
Pardon?
Dessert.
Oh my God. It isn't dessert, but you...
Is it desert?
Do you know what? So that you believe me, I'm going to copy and paste my conversation with my auntie and you'll see the times. Right?
What have we just...
Who can I send that to?
Send it to me.
Because I did it all through Messenger initially with my
Am I close to it?
This is freaking me.
Whoa! What's going on? Can you email it to Catherine?
Listen, I promise I will never say the word. Now, I've told my aunt she can tell her daughters the story, because we were both like, oh my God, what does this mean?
But
I said, you can tell the story, but don't say the word. So she's not going to say the word, so I don't want to
don't say
the word out my mouth.
Could you email that screenshot to Catherine now?
Once I work out how to do a screenshot on a Mac, I will. But, oh my goodness. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? If you don't mind, put this on the podcast, and then I can squirm at my own voice.
You need to do... hang on. It's Shift, Command and 4.
Right, wait a minute, so I get it.
Shift, Command 4. And then you draw a box with, like, the cursor, and then you let go, and it goes...
Before, I just couldn't remember the buttons to press. Right, hold on.
And
Oh.
You let go and it goes. There you go.
Oh, wait, but we were also talking about something else before that, so I'll make sure you're not getting that.
Okay. Leslie, listen, Leslie, did we do the quarter past break? Right, we'll do the break. Catherine, if you go and speak to Leslie off air and make sure we get that. If I'm close with that password, something very strange is happening. Bill, Laura, Alistair, Greg, this show has got very weird. And I don't quite know what's going on. But we continue. This is Talk Radio.
Dead of Night Discourse for Disco Queens.
I'm related to Jedwood and Dolly Parton.
Dairy farmers and distant fathers.
Yeah, well.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
Doing lots of things that we don't know about, we can't control.
On Talk Radio.
Yes, great.
So is she emailing? I'm confused. So did I get close to the word then? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so.
All the time she was talking to me, the word dessert was just being screamed in my head.
She said she was freaked out and she's not going to sleep tonight.
Yes, right.
I mean, you are often thinking of puddings, it's got to be said.
What's going on? What have we tapped into tonight? Hang on a second. I might have an answer.
Atención, este es un aviso importante para todos los ciudadanos. Manténganse dentro de sus casas, lejos de sus ventanas y puertas y fuera del alcance de todos seres no humanos.
This is an urgent public service message from Her Majesty's Government Department for Homeland Security.
Let's go to Laura. Good evening, Laura.
Hello, you're right.
I'm fine, Laura. Yes, what have you got for us on this rather spooky November the 5th, Guy Fawkes Day?
You said it wasn't Guy Fawkes Day.
I know. There's a sign in the kitchen, Laura, that says have a great Guy Fawkes Day. Well, there's no such thing as Guy Fawkes Day. It's bonfire night. We don't celebrate Guy Fawkes Day.
No, we do not.
We do not, Laura.
We do not.
No.
Well, absolutely. Now, first off, I'm just ringing up to clear my name because I'm not fake.
Okay, can you speak into the phone? You're very muffled.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm just ringing up to clear my name because I'm not fake. It was me on Twitter.
What? I can't remember what was you on Twitter?
Oh, right. No, it was where you said that you thought I was a fake account.
Oh, was that you? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
I tell you why. Well done, you. Thank you. I tell you why. Because there is some weirdo, and they've done it several times tonight, who sets up these accounts and they have no followers and they're following 4 people, and your account has got no followers and you're following 4 people. Oh,
strange. So spooky.
But you're a real human being. Oh, I'll unmute you then. I muted you. I'm going to unmute you. Apologies.
Oh, thank you.
Apologies. No, but thank you for calling in.
Well, no, I just don't normally use Twitter, you see, that's why, and I just thought, I'm missing out here.
And also, your name is Laura, and then it's a really, really long number. Why did you put a really long number? That's not your phone number, is it?
No, I don't know why it did that. It didn't give me an option to do a username when I was making it, so I just couldn't be bothered to change it.
Okay, well, this is it. I'm either the bots on Twitter have improved incredibly and they can now make phone calls.
They're now sentient.
Or Laura is a real person. Well, thank you, Laura. I appreciate you calling in. What did you call in to say?
No, well, basically, it was just to do with, like I say, earlier on today.
Yeah.
Just trying to add a bit more flavour in my life. I decided to go for a past life regression hypnosis thing.
That was it, yes. Go on.
It was one of the most depressing yet spooky things I've ever experienced in my life.
Why was it depressing?
Well, basically, it's really complicated, all the stuff that they end up doing when you're actually going through the hypnosis.
Yeah.
But when I'm not sure if I believe in it or not, or whether it's just me coming out with a load of old rubbish. But both of the lives that this hypnosis person tapped into,
yes,
were both really, really dark.
Like how dark?
Well, the first one, the way that she said that she did it, was they'd sort of tap into 2, and the first one would be sort of just a bit of a look at it. and they wouldn't go in very in depth. And then the second one, she'd have a bit more of a sort of poke around.
Poke around, yes.
Aye. Now the first one, apparently, I was a 19-year-old girl in America called Lucy, and there wasn't a lot going on bar the fact she was like, oh, what can you see? And I was like, fire. And she was like, what's on fire? And I was like, the wagons. Right. So then, basically what transpired in that sort of scenario was that I was looking for my family, and I was pretty convinced they were in a burning wagon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But what did it feel like? Did you actually feel like you were there, or did you feel? And it's always tricky with hypnosis, because I used to be a hypnotist, and several hours after hypnosis, the brain tries to explain why you've, forgot the number 7, and it kind of makes up an excuse for you. But did you feel you were actually there as this 19-year-old girl watching this happen, or did you feel like you were making up a nice story to keep the hypnotist happy?
Well, it was really weird and quite difficult to explain. It's like I was aware that I was sat in the chair where I was at the time.
Yeah.
But it's like my brain was somewhere else. And, like, I was sort of subconsciously, I was sat there going, no, this has got to be a load of old rubbish, but I just kept saying stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was just really odd. So, like, it was just very automatic.
And then what was the second life that you made, that you were regressed to? I don't buy past life regression. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
I kind of think we have a life and that's it.
Well, to be honest, it's one of them where I have no idea, but I thought, well, you've got to try these things.
Yeah.
Something different. Well, the second one, that was the one, obviously, like I say, where she sort of had a bit more of a prod around and stuff like that. In that one, it was apparently 1901, and I was a 46-year-old man called Philip. And basically, in this bit, this is where it got, like, really, really depressing for me, because in this, it was, like, Christmas time, and it was really snowy, and I was in, like, this high street, and I could hear, like, these bells going off at a church in the distance, and she was asking me all these questions about, like, how do you feel, and this, that and the other, and basically it was like, oh, I feel really alone, and basically the person that I was at the time just wanted to curl up in the snow and die. And that was it.
Blimey. Well, God, you would be depressed. You went there to shake your life up a bit and you came out feeling miserable.
Well, this is the thing, and then it's like I say, she went a bit more in depth, so there was like 2 other points of this person's life that we supposedly...
But I bet there's no point that we can fact check and date and verify.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, to be honest, it's one of them where afterwards I did think, oh, I'll have a nosy, but it's not likely that anything will come up. And I haven't found anything yet, but, I might have a nosy again in the future, but it's probably a load of old cobblers.
How much did it cost,
I'm looking
Laura?
up whether there was snow in 1901 around Christmas time.
Oh, do you know what? I didn't think of doing that.
Oh, this is a trained journalist we got here. Go on, Catherine. Whereabouts?
1901. Snowfalls were only little or average again, passing more than a resemblance to some heavy falls were recorded.
So it could be.
Right.
Could be. Doesn't disprove it.
Apparently, to me, like I say, I don't know exactly where it's come from, but to me it was in London.
Snow, London, Christmas 1901.
Okay, here we go.
Well, it'll be Christmas, 1900.
1901. You said around Christmas time.
I think it was around Christmas time, like I say. To me it was, anyway.
All right, so...
Fact-checking live.
1901, cold, dry and fairly sunny, a dry summer and autumn. Let's see, March, April, May, July. Let's go to December. Unsettled weather prevailed for much of the month, with temperatures varying from mild to rather cold. On the 7th, the maximum temperature was almost 13 degrees. On the 12th, nearly 21 millimetres of rain fell, but towards the end of the second week, a spell of colder, more settled weather developed. On the 17th, the minimum temperature was close to -5, and the high on the 21st was just 1.4.
So it didn't snow.
Around Christmas, it turned milder and changeable again. Doesn't say anything about
So there was
snow.
no snow, Laura, so it was bullshit.
It doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Well,
you don't know why you were lying in the snow. You might have been absolutely out of your mind on booze, so maybe it was 1902.
Laura, thank you very much for that. 0344 499 1000. Let's go to Bill. Good evening, Bill. Good evening, Bill.
Hello.
Hello, Bill.
Not Bill, it's David.
Okay, well, do you want to come near the phone?
Yes. Can you hear me now, Ian?
I can hear you now. It's
Right,
David.
I'll tell you my story.
Okay, why does it say Bill on my screen?
I don't know, no idea.
Well, you would have told Amy that your name was Bill.
No, I didn't tell her. Didn't tell her my name. She didn't ask me the name.
Hang on 1 second. Just stay there then, David. Amy, are you not following normal procedure and not asking callers their names?
He came up as Bill, and I called him Bill, and he responded, so I assumed his name was Bill.
What's he like?
What's she like?
A logical human being.
All right then, David. Who's Bill then? Because someone from this number would have called up as Bill before.
Well, I don't know. It's her getting mixed up. My name's always been
No, it's not her getting mixed up. The phone system is a computer-based system, and as we all know, regular listeners to the show know, this phone system never, ever fails. It costs £250,000. All right, David, what you got for us?
Yeah, I'll tell you my story. I had my partner in hospital at Sheffield, right? And she'd been in about 3 days, right?
Yeah.
And I was asleep at home, at Doncaster. And I woke up that she'd passed her on. When I went to hospital, she had done, I woke up, it gave me a shock, that she was dead, you know what I mean?
So you woke up knowing that she died?
Correct, yes, and when I rang up, they confirmed it at hospital.
Blimey. That's, not to demean that in any way. Apparently that's quite a common phenomenon, that when someone very close passes, the people can often know it despite having not been told it.
Yeah, well, it was a shock to my system. I'd never experienced it before. Right?
Oh. Was that the first time you'd had a psychic?
Yeah, that's only time really, but...
Blimey.
I'll get going, I'll just tell you, mate.
Nice one. Thank you, David, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. 0344 499 1000. Good evening, Alistair.
Oh, evening, Ian. Evening, Catherine.
Some show tonight, huh?
Yeah, oh, God, as it's gone on, I'm getting more frightened, Ian.
I'm getting very, I'm going to turn the lights down in here, because I'm getting very, very uncomfortable, but I like it. It's a bit spooky, I like it. What you got for us, Alistair?
Well, first of all, if you don't mind me asking, what's that website Catherine was looking at, old weather pictures, because that's interesting.
It was london-weather.eu from year 1900 London weather, but I'm looking now.
Oh, God.
Days with snow.
Right. Hang on a minute. Past life regression doesn't exist. It's not real.
I know, but come on. We'd all like to see that it was snowing in London that winter, wouldn't we?
I suppose we would.
So I'm just making sure.
Right.
I'm going to look at a few different places and see if I can be absolutely sure that it didn't happen.
I was born on the 8th of October.
1901.
That was a Sunday, 1961, Ian.
Hey, yeah.
And I wondered if there was thunder and lightning as I was being born.
Jesus Christ. Was there thunderbolt and lightning when Alistair was being born?
I don't know, I'm looking at London weather, so...
Oh, God, yeah, Google it yourself, you pudding!
Okay.
Jeez. Go on. Was there anything else you wanted?
Yeah, well, just to say, I mean, I was going to ask Amanda a question about her magazine.
Wasn't she good? I liked her a lot. Yeah. We'll get her in again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to all these things, Ian.
Yeah.
But as you know, I'm a massive film buff, and I did re-look at, the Exorcist, the version you've never seen.
Yeah.
I looked at that again and thought about the fact, and I googled it a bit, and apparently that film was based on. The writer based it on an actual reported event in 1949.
Yeah, here's the thing. Any film that says based on a true story, inspired by actual events, that does not mean anything. I tell you, the greatest example of those all is Fargo. You know, have you ever seen Fargo? One set in the snow. And at the beginning of the film, it says this is based on a true story.
Yeah, no.
It's not. They just put that there for a laugh. Which I thought, when I found that out, I thought that was brilliant.
One of my favourite movies, actually, that one.
Well, Fargo?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for years. I'd like to see it again.
I read something about that film. The fact that the police officer was pregnant was just by accident because she was actually pregnant, the actress.
Right, yeah. It's such a great film. I haven't seen it for years and years and years. I need to give that another go, I think.
Yeah. But I was going to ask Amanda, does she get, people who write in about sort of things like exorcisms, probably, the scariest type of things that, people say go on out there, and whether or not that she then gets concerned about whether people are getting too heavily into it or belief of it, that they're becoming psychologically kind of, unhinged.
It's a good question. She's on Twitter. I'll see if I can find her again on Twitter, and you can tweet her. That's a really good question, Alison. I'm sorry we didn't get time to put that to her.
Don't worry.
But thank you. I appreciate that. 0344 499 1000. We've got Greg. We've got Mo. This is the late night alternative, weeknights from 10. It's getting a little bit spooky tonight, and I'm happy to carry on in that direction if you want. If you want to call in about nonsense, here's something I wanted to do as a phone-in. We'll stay away from politics now as we get closer to midnight. Once we get to midnight, we enter what we call purdah. I don't actually know what the word purdah is, where its origin from. It basically means, because we're coming with 6 weeks or however many weeks to the general election, we can't really talk about the general election without having to adhere to some quite strict rules, which the newspapers aren't party to. Newspapers can, tomorrow can print vote Tory, vote Labour. They can say whatever they want. We on the radio can't. And just as we get close to it, let's play it. Sorry?
Purdah, the custom found in some Muslim and Hindu cultures of keeping women from being seen by men they're not related to.
There we go. So that's what Purdah is then. Catherine has to wear a hijab.
The state of not speaking to anyone.
Yeah, Catherine has to wear a hijab. Has she sent that picture of that conversation yet? I want to know how close I was to the word.
Let's have a look. Yes.
We'll find out after this.
The late night alternative with that man, Iain Lee. There's no strangers here, just friends you haven't stalked on Facebook yet.
Have never sent my picture to anyone who didn't request it.
The late night alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Yes.
We're having a spooky show tonight. We had Amanda in earlier on, editor of Chatter's Face. She was a brilliant guest. We'll get her back in the new year because I love that. And you've been sharing your spooky stories with us. Thank you. We had a call earlier on in the show from Leslie in France. Kath, do you want to remind us what the thrust of that call was?
Well, Leslie's mum had died very young, about 61, I think she said. And before she died, they were talking, and it was just before she died. So soon after this, she was given morphine and she didn't regain consciousness, right? And they'd been discussing the afterlife, and they made an agreement that they would have a password so that if anyone in the future ever suggested that they were speaking on behalf of Leslie's mum, she would know whether they were full of it or not, right? So she had this password. She's never spoken it to anyone. She wouldn't tell me what it was, but she sent me the video, the lead up to the video
her
chat.
aunt guessed the password, right? And while we were talking to Leslie, her aunt guessed the password literally earlier on today, and it blew her mind. And all the time she was talking, I had this word just being shouted in my head. So I threw it out. Sometimes you like to, you throw a basketball at a hoop just as you're passing, and it never hits. But if it did go in, imagine how cool you'd look.
Yeah.
So I just shouted out while she was talking, is the word dessert? And it silenced her.
Yeah.
Now, she has sent in a screenshot of the conversation that has the word. We're not going to say it on the air, So you've got no reason to believe us, because she asked us not to.
She sent me a screenshot of the conversation she was having with her Auntie Viv, and it's exactly as she said. My mum and I agreed a password so that anyone claiming to be speaking for her would have to know it. What's the password, Big V? LOL. And the word that Viv came back with. And then it's obvious that they went to video chat after that, because, as she said, she was so freaked out by it. So,
and you have seen the word, and when you saw it, you sat back in your chair and did that thing you do with your hand when you've seen something scary in a film. You're like, oh. You've written down the word, you're going to show it to me.
Yeah.
I said dessert. Show me the word. It's not that close. It's not that close.
Come on. Out of all the words in the world?
Out of all the words in the world, it's quite close. But I was hoping it would be closer.
That's pretty damn close to me. Let me show Amy and see what Amy says.
All right, Amy, have your mic on, please. Now, be genuine. If you're not impressed, don't be, you know.
That's it, but not a lot.
Oh, that's the best contribution you've ever made, is that?
I was impressed with that.
I've done better. Laura says, mate, can you not call it Purda, please? I'm spending all my time working in gov, saying that it's pre-election. Sorry for being a pedant. But it is Purda, though, isn't it? So
to us it is, yeah.
To us it's Purda. So your pedantry is incorrect. I think. I'm not. It's not a hill I'm prepared to die on, which is my favourite phrase at the moment. But I think we're right. I'm pretty sure that we're right.
Also, we don't work in local government, so your rules do not apply to us.
Yeah, man, we're anarchists. Screw you guys. Good evening, Greg.
Hello. Wasn't Purda in the new Avengers played by Joanna Lumley, or that Purdy?
I think Purda was. So of course, women in the early 70s were getting the Purda haircut. That was
My mum had that haircut. It ruined her wedding.
Oh, no.
Wasn't what she was asking for.
No one else could carry it off. No one else could carry off the Purda haircut. And I bet it took a lot of maintenance.
It was awful.
Yeah. Greggingtons.
Hey, Ian. Just cleared my throat. Hang on, sorry.
I've got so much crap down my shirt. I don't know why.
Oh.
Clean jeans on today, though. Very clean jeans. Hey, I'm getting those 2 new kittens.
Oh, I know.
Terrible mistake. What am I doing? I'm going to have 5 cats in my house. I tell my boys, and they laugh at me, your house is going to stink. And then I sent them a picture and their hearts melted.
When I lived with my mother, she was a cat woman.
Yeah. Oh.
She was a mad old cat woman.
Oh.
And I think maybe we had about 4 or 5 at one stage. Yeah, she used to kidnap them. You know, sort of entice them in with bits of ham and stuff because they looked hungry at the door. Used to come in and never go out again. Yeah. And she used to feed pigeons.
Well, I'm not going to feed pigeons. I'm not a mad old cat lady. I'm a mad old cat man.
Good for you, because I'm a cat lover myself.
I love them, man. Here's the thing. I've got 3 cats. One is very old. She's nearly 21. She can't be around for much longer. The other 2 are just over a year. And, but I live on my own. I'm really miserable, and cats bring me so much pleasure. Sorry?
That's the definition of the cat woman, isn't it?
Oh, God, it is! Oh, my God! Boys! I don't see my children, so these are like my little babies. What have I done? What have I become? I've become that guy. I remember once at school, when I was about 14, I was really mean to a kid called... His real name was Oswald, we found out, and that's partly why I think he pretended his name was Antonio, and we all called him, I called him Oswald when I found out that was his real name. And I remember once he turned to me and he said, Ian, you know what, one day, if you carry on like this, you're going to be really, really lonely. And now, 32 years later, I'm thinking, Oswald was right, Antonio was right. As I buy my 4th and 5th cats, Antonio was very, very correct. Anyway, Gregory, what you got for us?
Well, regarding yesterday's little chat we had.
Yesterday! Oh, my... And by the way, can I just say, at the end of the show, I threw out a fact that I wasn't sure was correct or not. And I Googled it straight after the show. And yes, Dolly Parton wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same day. Imagine. What a day. Jolene, I Will Always Love You, boom, on the same day.
What a talent.
What a talent.
Anyway, regarding yesterday's little chat we had, regarding that word, shawaddy-waddy.
Yeah.
Was you joking, as in me coming to the studio?
It was a genuine once-in-a-lifetime offer, and you poo-pooed it.
Okay.
You poo-pooed it.
Okay, never mind.
Genuine once in a
Anyway,
lifetime offer. It was genuine at the time.
I'm sorry. My missus was listening to the show yesterday in bed, and I came down to make a phone call to you.
Yeah.
And I went back up, and she said, "Are you going to do it? Didn't you agree to it? Why didn't you agree to it?" I said, "Well, it's a joke."
Come on, Greg.
No,
we don't joke on this show.
serious.
This is a serious, fact-based show.
It's a documentary.
Documentary. Even I can't back that one up. I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for doubting you.
Oh, mate, don't worry. And I saw you getting down about it on Twitter. Don't worry. It's all a joke. We're all a bit of fun.
Okay.
I love you, man. But here's the thing. Shush. I'm being drawn for a second. Your bits of the show are one of my favourite bits. You're never getting sacked as the Shawaddy Waddy correspondent, because I ain't going to allow it to happen.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have got a very interesting fact about Shawaddy Waddy, which I learned last Saturday when I visited my brother in Dunstable. But I don't think even Shawaddy... I don't think... Oh, no.
Hang on. It's time for an impromptu and very, very exciting Shawaddy Waddy update with correspondent...
Greg.
That's...
Greg.
Oh, dear. So you go on about spooky stuff. This little jingle haunts me. Now, that sound haunts me, but... Okay, here we go. When I visited my brother in Dunstable last Saturday, he's very interested in my silly little bits, which I talked to you about on Shawaddy Waddy. So I always play him my little phone calls to you. And I don't think even Shawaddy Waddy know this, but when I was playing my clip from last week, and if you remember, you were singing Angel Eyes to me.
Written by Tommy Boyce, who also co-wrote a lot of songs for the Monkees, yes?
Oh, right, very interesting. But he's got 3 budgerigars, and when you started singing that, with them playing it in the background, Shawaddy Waddy singing it as well, his little 3 budgerigars started chirping. I don't know if they was trying to tell you to shut up, or they looked as if they had a little smile on their beaks. I think...
Oh, sorry, it's not finished?
Nope.
So I think they actually, Shawaddy Waddy is big in the budgerigar.
No, it's not finished?
Budgerigar world. I'm sure one of them was doing a little... Well, this is a joke, but one of them could have been doing a little jig on the perch, little dance to it. But no, that's true. They did actually start chirping when you started singing that song, then stopped when you stopped. There you go. Maddie, back to the studio. Back to the studio.
And that was a Shawaddy Waddy budgerigar update with our correspondent...
Greg.
That's...
Greg.
I must email Siobhan tomorrow and we'll sort that out. They're coming in the studio and I could not be more excited.
Siobhan Ivani.
Mo!
Hi, how are you?
I was fine until you came and sucked the vibe out of my penis.
Whoa, come on.
Well, I'm good, thank you. Anyway.
We didn't ask.
Not interested.
Well, Anyway, can you please have a song?
Can we please have a song? What does that mean? Can you please have a song? What does that mean?
Can I have a song, Wes, please?
Yeah, sure, go on. What song would you like, caller?
You know the song that goes rabbit, 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 that one?
Yeah? No, I don't know. What song is that? What song is that?
The one that goes rabbit, 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 rabbit.
No.
Is it a Christmas song?
You know the song by those 2 English dudes?
The 2 English dudes, right. And how does it go?
Yeah. Chas and Dave Rabbit, that's the one.
Oh, is it right? It said Fred.
Do you know what? We'll play that when we come back from midnight.
Okay, please do.
Thanks for your call. Where's this? Kiss Hits. I met Bam Bam tonight. We met Bam Bam tonight, didn't we? Or as he calls himself, Bam. Now, is he dropped the first name or has he dropped the last name there? He seemed like a very nice guy. I thought I'd met him before. But, you don't know Bam, you don't know who he was. Bam Bam was huge, right? He was, the breakfast DJ on Kiss. Before Kiss became the slick... Was Kiss a pirate radio station for a while? I think it was. I think Kiss, Catherine goes to Google it, she doesn't believe me.
No, I'm trying to get beyond the vague to the facts.
I'm giving you the facts. Kiss was a pirate...
No, you said I think.
Okay, here are the facts. Kith and Kin. Kiss was a pirate radio station, Kiss 100, pirate radio station, and it went legit in 1988.
Kiss FM first broadcast 7th of October 1985 as a pirate radio station, initially to South London, then across the whole city.
Then when did it go legit?
Went legit...
91.
Hang on, let's have a look. 1980s, it doesn't say, hang on. Pirate Roots. Legal licence, 89, September 1989.
I said 88. There you go. Now it's one of the biggest...
It was part of EMAP. I used to work for EMAP.
Well, it's one of the biggest, crappiest music stations. I've got Kiss tuned in. Kiss is tuned on my second page of presets, though. So I've really got to work together. But sometimes I like having a little bit of Kiss on.
I quite like History.
I don't know what that is.
The older ones,
but he did the breakfast show on there, Bam Bam and Street Boy. The Street Boy was like Justin Dealey, for years, and it was huge. It was huge when when it became legit, it was still, now it's kind of like Magic, you know, or Heart. It's more like Heart, in that it's quite a mainstream station. But when it first, became legit, it was still seen as a very, very cool, underground, kind of place. Anyway, we met Bam Bam tonight. What a delightful and polite,
very nice person.
Polite gentleman he was, because he was very shouty on the show.
Was he?
Of course he was, yeah. Breakfast show in the 90s, a lot of shouting and sending Street Boy out to do crazy stuff. It was fun. But I'll send him a tweet. Let me find him on Twitter and send him a tweet, because we were late for a meeting, so we didn't get time to chat. All right, we've got another hour of this to go. I'm enjoying this tonight. 0344. Normally I hate it. 0344 499 1000. The switchboard is empty. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Rabbit, 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 rabbit. You got a beautiful chin. You've got beautiful skin. You got a beautiful face. You got taste. You got beautiful eyes. You got beautiful thighs. You got a long without a doubt. But I'm thinking about blowing you out. 'Cause you won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. This time you got it off your chest. Now you was just the kind of girl to break my heart in two. I knew right off when I first set my eyes on you. But how was I to know you'd been my heroes too? With your incessant talking, you're becoming a pest. Rabbit, 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 rabbit. Now you're a wonderful girl. You got a wonderful smell. You got wonderful arms. You got charm. You got wonderful hair. We make a wonderful pair. Now I don't mind having a chat, but you have to keep giving it that. No, you won't stop talking. Why don't you give it a rest? You got more rabbit than Sainsbury's. This time you got it off your chest. Now you were just the kind of girl to break my heart in two. I knew right off when I first set my eyes on you. But how was I to know you'd been my rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit, rabbit, bunny, jabber, rabbit.
There we go. Who'd have thought Mo would actually make a decent contribution to the show? You know, even a broken watch is right once or twice a day. 0344 499 1000. We carry on with your. We're now in Purda. Am I even allowed to say that?
Yes.
I can say we're in Purda, which means we are in the run-up. We're now officially in the run-up to the general election, December the 12th. So I can't say anything political. Can't say bad things about him. Can't say nice things about her.
Or him.
Or
them.
Or them. I can't say I like that policy or I dislike that policy. Can't say it. Keep stone. So, instead, I'd like to know which bands are superfluous. Now, by that I mean, if you just took this band out of history, it would have no impact on music whatsoever. I'm going straight in there. This came about because we heard the Stereophonics. So I'm putting the Stereophonics out there as a band who serve no purpose whatsoever, and if they were erased from musical history, the world would be exactly the same. You know, the beat of a butterfly wings in Brazil causes a tsunami in, oh, Christ knows where.
Somewhere else,
you know, all of that. But, you know, and if you go back in time, you can't kill baby Hitler. You can't kill baby Hitler. Because it would, the ramifications are there. But you couldn't go back in time and kill the Beatles before the Beatles happened, because that would change the face of popular music forever. But you could take the Stereophonics out. I don't mean kill them. I mean, you could lift them out of existence.
Let them all become dentists.
Yeah, you could lift them out of existence and it would have no impact on music. You can't, you know, you get bands now or artists now interviewed. Who's your favourite band? Well, when I grew up, for me it was the Stereophonics, just their version of Handbags and Glad Rags. I first heard it as the closing theme to The Office, and Kelly Jones's voice, rasping voice, it's what really inspired, and the drummer with the curly hair who's sadly no longer with us, which is just an inspiration. Stuart Cable, was that his name? Who's the drummer from, don't Google it, let's work it out.
I don't know.
Died. He got booted out. I think he liked to party a little bit, and he was a bit of a wild man. Big, very tight, curly perm. Cable. I'm going to say Stuart Cable. And he passed away. So we're taking out the Stereophonics. Superfluous bands. 03. You can call in about anything. You want to carry on the spooky stories. I'm loving those, actually. But you can call in about anything apart from politics. 03, because I just can't be bothered to balance up. But we can talk about politics, but it's just hard work.
We'll end up talking about it for like 3-4 times as long as we want to.
Yeah, so let's just not bother. Unless something massive happens, let's just not bother. So 03, we had the talk today about what we can and can't say, and very nice person talking us through it, Claire. Really nice, actually. Absolutely bonkers, completely insane, but wonderful. Nice to meet someone on our level in the office, someone of our age in the office as well. They're all kids, but all the time she was talking, I'm thinking, yeah, we're not going to talk about it, so you're all right.
No, she was really helpful, because what she was doing was telling us what we could do as well as what we.
Yeah, oh, exactly. But I'm just thinking. Yeah, we're not gonna. But thank you, Claire. So, superfluous bands, please. 0344 499 1000. Roger's suggesting Coldplay. I disagree. I think if you removed Coldplay...
Then Simon Cowell would have nothing to back his sad stories with on the X Factor.
Is that Coldplay? I thought that was Snow Patrol.
Coldplay as well.
Was it? Yeah. Which one? Yellow.
He does diddle-diddle-dum. Is it the Scientist?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he's a scientist. He's a singer, isn't he? Chris Martin.
Me, that one.
Okay. All right.
Trouble, it's called.
Okay. Any bands, Catherine, that are superfluous?
Well, I would say the Beautiful South, because I don't like them. But I can see...
Oh, no, we can put them on there. They fit.
But they're part of a... I mean, they were part of a kind of more sensible... You know, and they were writing songs that were about something. I guess that's useful. I just don't like them.
No, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, good. All right, good.
They exist No more. So there'll be some business, some travelling salesmen tomorrow getting in their car, driving up the M1, and they'll reach for their beautiful South CDs. They won't exist anymore. All right. We seem to be hitting a rich seam from around the late 80s, early 90s. So I'm going to put this out there. Jamiroquai.
Right.
Give me a good argument. Give me a good argument why Jamiroquai matter.
Because they made people grow up and start listening to Stevie Wonder, the good part of Stevie Wonder again.
Ooh. But people would have discovered Innovisions and the other good Stevie Wonder album, whose name escapes me at the moment. People would have discovered those. I discovered those...
Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah.
Do you think they would? Because I think that they were an introduction. If you liked Jamiroquai, then you would grow into...
I think people would have discovered them anyway. I certainly did. Without JK and the boys.
Okay.
So I'm going to put... No, JK. So I'm going to put Jamiroquai down.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. You know, when you said about the guy in his estate car driving to his sales rep job and not being able to have...
Just go through all his CDs and get rid of them.
Beautiful South. Well, I'm thinking it could be replaced, and it would be better off if you replaced the Beautiful South, if you like them.
Yeah.
Try the Divine Comedy. They're better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So Jamiroquai. If you like Jamiroquai, try Stevie Wonder. It's better.
Oh, I've left my heating on. But because I'm a celebrity, I can turn my heating off with my telephone. Yeah, that's right. So the heating's on at the moment, and I can turn it off. There we go. Just saved a few pennies.
And the planet.
Less importantly, the planet. Yeah. 0344 499 1000. So we've got your spooky stories. We've got your band's what are superfluous to requirements. And also, you can just, I felt really low today. Just really low. And there's stuff, there's always stuff going on. And it's partly because I had to, here's the thing that no one, they don't tell you when you get divorced, right? That when you get your kids for the weekend, it's the most joyful, it's wonderful. As I said to my boys, I said, when you're here making noise, this house becomes a home, right? When I'm here on my own, it's a nice house. When you're here, the house comes alive. Because I just let it make lots of noise, and the house becomes alive. But what they don't tell you is that when you take the kids back, you've got to go back into a really empty, cold house. And we had such a nice weekend this weekend. And, but my youngest, my 7-year-old, nearly 8 years old now, my God, really struggled the last few times I've had to take them home, from kind of about lunchtime to a lot of, when are we going back? I said, well, we're going back go back in a couple of hours. Okay. Can we do something nice before we go? And we actually had to do a bit of homework because they hadn't done their homework. And I said, we'll do the homework, and then I tell you what, we'll play a game together or something for half an hour, but I've really got to get you back. It's up late and you've got school tomorrow and all of that.
Yeah.
And, just leaving the house, a lot of tears. And of course I have to be the responsible grown-up. I have to be the responsible dad. That certainly, I don't want my kids to begrudge going home. Don't want my kids to begrudge their mum. And I've had a couple of conversations where the youngest has said that he doesn't love mummy.
Oh.
And I've had to say, but that's, you're saying that because she's the one that takes you to school and does all the boring stuff. But if you live with me, I would be doing all the boring stuff. She does fun stuff with you. So we're having another conversation. And I don't want him to resent going home, because that's where he lives. And also I don't want, my ex to think, well, the boys are having a great time with their dad, but they don't have I want everyone to have a great time with everyone.
Yeah.
That's what I want. It's not that kind of divorce, I want everyone to have a great time.
You want there to be a smooth transition and for it to be as plain sailing for the boys as possible. That's what the whole plan has always been, hasn't it?
Yes. And so taking him home was really sad because he was crying. Then he fell asleep, and then we got home and it was really tough. And I just have to do this. I give him a cuddle and I explain why this has to happen. And I say, well, I'm going to see you on Friday, and I'll pick you up from school, and then in a couple of weeks you'll come in to stay again, and we're doing this, and we're getting really close to Christmas, and we've got all these fun things planned. But of course kids can't kids can't think 3 weeks ahead. That doesn't mean that's like a life. That's not to say, well, in 10 years, you're going to be doing this. It doesn't mean anything, 3 weeks. So I kind of have to give him a hug, give him a kiss, and say, I really love you, and, shall I go do you want to go and have a cuddle with mummy? And he has a cuddle with mum, and I have to leave while he's crying. Because I've got to be the responsible dad, and I can tell him I feel sad, and I get it. But I can't stand there and cry in front of him. I've not got a problem with crying in front of my kids. I have done at times. But that, I think, is a time when I have to show some sort of strength and normality and say, you know, this is... And then I go in the car and I have a little cry, and I go home and the house is really empty and I've got a blinding headache, and I have a doze on the sofa, and I wake up and I'm freezing cold and the house is really quiet. Really quiet. And there's a part of me that likes getting rid of them, because, you know, I like the peace, and I like, actually, I'm learning to like my own company a little bit. But I miss the boys. Yeah. I miss my babies, you know, I miss my little babies. And I think that has partly got me down today. It's been bubbling for a few weeks. That kind of got me down. I wrote quite a self-exposing email of apology and regret to an agent yesterday, who, in a kind of fit of pique, I sort of said, I don't want to work with you anymore. And I realised that's probably one of the worst decisions I've made in a career littered with terrible decisions, as one of the worst. And so I wrote him a very humbling email saying, I made a terrible mistake, and this is why I think I made that mistake. I would really like to work with you. And I got a really polite reply back, really polite actually, but basically saying no. And that, I think, has knocked me a little bit. I was expecting a no. I was expecting a slightly harsher no. It was very decent in the way he wrote it, but it's that thing, when you expose yourself, it's hard to take a rejection, isn't it? It's like when you ask someone out and they say no, it's like, should have just kept quiet. Should have said anything.
Even though that makes no sense.
No, of course it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Because here's the thing with that particular thing.
Yeah.
There was a reason why you didn't work. You decided that it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you did feel like that. And yeah, there was other stuff going on, but you did feel like it wasn't working out. And it was good just to apologise for apologising's sake.
Yeah.
And at least now you know for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't remember why this.
I just think you've been feeling down and it's been bubbling away.
Carl says, Ian, I think you should do a human zoo show like Tommy Boyd. I think you're the only person capable of bringing back this amazing... Have you never listened to our show, Carl? For God's sakes, I've been doing Triple M calls straight to air for the last 20 years. For crying out loud, Carl. Have you got no idea who I am? I'm Ian Lee. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Ian Lee on Talk Radio.
Gerald, I'll come to you in a second. The transcript book, you got 7 more days to buy it. 7 more days to buy the transcript book. I know I said I was going to carry it on until Christmas, but it's kind of stopped selling now. So it feels, I want to pay the money over in one big lump, and it's kind of stopped selling. For those who don't know, we put out a book, transcribed by you, dear listener, thank you, of some of the best bits, some of people's favourite bits of the radio show. Really, really funny, actually. Really funny. We've got Paul Danan coming in next week. I've got to sort that out. And we'll get him to reenact some of the scenes for me, because that would be great. And all the it's $12.99 plus postage. But all the profit, which I think is $5.98 per book, is going to go to the Samaritans. Do you want to try and get them back again, please, Amy? Thank you very much indeed. We've raised over $2,000. And so you got 7 more days. So Tuesday of next week, I am going to take it off sale. If you want to get it, you go to lulu.com, LULU.com, and type in the Late Night Alternative, here's the thing, something like that, and it will pop up. It's a green cover. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's kind of stopped selling, so I might as well, if I give it a boost now, we might be able to squeeze another few £100 out of it. I kind of feel that project is done. I want to get the money to the Samaritans. And also it's presenting me with a not great tax situation. I've got to pay a few hundred, probably be about £400 or £500 tax, which will come out of my pocket. And I said that's what I was going to do, and I'm cool with doing it. But I'm skint at the moment. So basically it's a tax concern for me, which is boring. But I will pay the tax on it. You know, all the money you pay will go. And then on top of that, there'll also be more money from gift aid as well that kind of goes on top of that. So anyway, Tuesday next week, the book will be taken off sale. It will become a collector's item. And thank you to everyone who's bought it and everyone who's enjoyed it. Let's go to Gerald. Good evening, Gerald.
Snore. Snore. Snore.
Gerald, wake up. You're on the radio.
Ah, oh balls. So I am. I don't remember ringing. Sorry, Ian Lee and Catherine Boyle. Hello, Ian Lee and Catherine Boyle. I have had a really good day. Someone came up to me in Tesco. Other supermarkets are available today to pay for their shopping. They recognized my voice from your show.
Oh.
They said, hello, Gerald. I hear you every time Ian Lee and Catherine Boyle take calls straight to air. So I said, unexpected item in bagging area. If you have a club card, please scan it now.
Oh.
Please follow the instructions on the pin pad. Thank you for shopping at Tesco. And they went on their way. Anyway, I have to go now. I have a 9 o'clock start in the morning, and I want to get into work before 6:30, so I don't have to listen to Julia Hartley-Brewer.
Yep.
Cheerio.
Thank you. No, I agree. Isn't it funny? Those computer voices are better than they were 3 years ago, but they're still some way off what I would have thought we would have been capable of in 2019.
Yes.
I would have thought that it would have been more, hello, I'm a computer.
Yes.
I am saying these words, but I am a computer.
Yes.
But it's still a bit stilted, isn't it? Catherine Boyle. I told you yesterday at the end of the show, Limmy discovered that the word insomniac backwards is I can't sleep. Or was it, or I need sleep, something like that. I can't, wonder if I can find it. If I can find the clip of him doing it.
It sounds like it must be bullshit.
Oh God, I know. But it's incredible. It's insomniac. Let me see if I can find it on his feed. Did he post it up?
Well, don't get it off his feed. He will have manipulated it.
Here we go. Now this might have swears, okay? Insomniac is I'm asleep. Here we go. Here we go. This might have swears, so I'm hovering. Here we go.
Insomniac. Insomniac backwards as I'm asleep.
Can't really hear it in that. But it is insomniac backwards is I must sleep.
How can it be?
I don't know, man.
It's not got a P sound in it.
Well, it will be sleep. You make up the thing. I wonder where. Can someone hang on a minute? I wonder if it's on YouTube. Daft Limmy, insomniac. Without all of that. Can someone find the clip, please, and let me have it, because it's incredible, and it blew his mind when he found it out. We could, well, I mean, I don't want to steal his patter. We're going to go patter thief. We say we could do it, but I don't want to steal his patter. So instead, let's go to Chris. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening.
Chris, what can we do for you tonight, please?
I'm sure with those records, you're just making it up as you go along.
Literally no idea what that means.
Well, because you can, where you play songs backwards.
Right.
You can make up whatever you want to make up in what you want to listen to.
Okay. Still not really got much of an idea what you're talking about, but let's get to your main point.
No, it is though. Who was that band
You're like a colander. You're like a colander, and you're like a colander, and I'm pouring the vibe into you, and I'm desperately trying to hold the edges, but I just can't stop it. The vibe just keeps pouring out all over the floor.
Who was that? Judas Priest, I think it was.
Yes. Oh yes.
They got fined for. I know.
Having suicidal satanic messages supposedly backwards in their record, yes.
Exactly, so that's
yes,
why
you can, Chris, yes you can. But don't you think it's amazing that Insomniac backwards is I must sleep?
Well, I don't know where you're getting that from.
From Limmy! I saw Limmy do it. Limmy put it out as a theory that he'd heard as a kid, and then he did. No, it is not. It is. I saw him do it. He put it out as a theory.
I almost swore then.
Yeah, well, you swear and you get a punch in your face, you idiot. Can we carry on? Jesus.
I was going to say bollocks.
Right. Well, tough guy.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, it's not. Will you listen to me?
Okay.
He had heard it as a rumour as a kid, and then he tested it live on a stream while we were watching. He recorded him saying, Insomniac, and then I must sleep, and then he played them both backwards, and it worked.
Well, that's very,
It's very true. It happened.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I don't believe it.
Well, it happened. I saw it happen. Jeez. Anyway, Chris, what did you call in for? Come on, man, please, come on.
Right.
No, right, no, just come on.
Don't.
Go on, finish the sentence, don't.
I'm a caller.
Yeah.
You should be polite to me.
Oh, bollocks, should I?
You know?
Come on, make a point. Stop leaving massive gaps.
I never have a point. I know that.
Thanks very much for your call, Chris. I mean, if that's your thing is, I never have a point, then... man. There's so far I can go with I don't have a point thing.
I've noticed there are some callers who mustn't have a point when they ring because they'll talk about the last thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. So we're talking about the last thing now.
And they don't even necessarily have a view on it. So yeah.
Whoever is in this next trail is the person you're next going to sleep with, Catherine.
Oh, great.
Let's hear it.
The voice of reason is on Talk Radio.
Hello, I'm James Whale. Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
You're sleeping with James Whale. Right,
again.
I found the clip, but it might...
Hey,
okay, there we go.
All right,
there we go. All right, well, we won't play that game. Play that game. I'll just take this call. Let's go to hello, line 1. You're on the wireless.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm looking forward to my bed. What can we do for you tonight?
Oh God, I didn't expect to come straight through to it. How much is your tax bill in?
Oh, here we go. What, for this book?
Yeah.
It's going to be 300, 400, 500 quid. I haven't quite got the total yet.
I've got it sorted, mate.
No,
I'll cover that.
No, you will not cover that straight.
I would love to. As a little donation.
A
cheeky donation.
You will do.
It's Samaritans. It's Samaritans, my friend.
You will do no such thing, sir.
Stop it.
You will do no such thing.
Back in your box. Get back in your box.
Yo, sir. No, listen. I said I'd cover it, and I'll cover it, but I just kind of want to get it sorted. So you are very. He's put the phone down. Very kind man, but I'll do it. I said I'd do it, and I'll do it, and I'm fine with it. It's just come at one of those, one of those times when I could do with not having one of those times. But we'll do it. We've raised loads of money for the Samaritans, so I'm cool with that. Hello, line 2. You're on the wireless.
For some reason I got dropped.
Oh, no, I didn't cut you off. I thought you hung up.
Oh, it's my dick. No, why?
My dick.
I want to deal with it.
No, you're not.
I want to.
You're not going
stop
to.
It.
You're not going to.
Stop it. I want to deal with it.
You're not going to deal with it.
If you Yes, I would love to.
Who are you? Are you Alan Sugar? Are you John Lewis? No, Peter Lewis. Peter Jones. That's it, Peter Jones.
No, I've called you before and I had a lovely call with you a few weeks back ago on the Point Show, and I think it would be a lovely thing. So for me, it would be lovely to do that, to pay that as a little donation into the Samaritan. So please let me do it.
No, it would be lovely, but listen, man, you've been very kind, but I cannot allow you to do that. So go and buy the book. Go and buy a copy of the book. Don't do that.
Well, no, I can't get hold of a copy of the book because it's going to be gone soon.
It's going to be gone in a week. Go online and order it now.
Fella, but I don't.
You're a good man.
I don't want you to get out of pocket.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm doing all right. I can cover it. I'm doing all right. Don't you? You're a very kind man.
No.
This is what meals are like. Except if you do this with Kath, it goes back and forth twice, and she goes, "Okay, you can pay."
You had some more chips to me.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my friend. You are very kind. I'm going to let you go. I got it covered. It wasn't what I was doing it for, and it was improper of me to even bring it up on air. Thank you very much indeed. 0344 499 1000. There are nice people out there. There are nice people out there. I'm being sent pictures of dogs. Thank you, Mary, for sending a picture of your dog. And my cats would see your dog Off. What's this? Reverse audio. Well, I'm not going to reverse the audio because then I will be accused of being a patter thief by Limmy's people. That's why I'm fully crediting Limmy for this incredible discovery. I will not be doing that myself. Go and do it yourself at home. Record Insomniac and I'm Asleep, and then play them backwards guides, and you'll see. You will be amazed. You will be amazed. Catherine, what have you brought to the party this evening? My little chickadee.
I got a Stonehenge story, baby.
Oh, yeah, Stonehenge.
Mystery finally solved.
Where have we got to listen to this from? 150 metres away?
150 metres, yeah, unless you're one of the Sacred 26.
Oh, here we go.
Stonehenge mystery finally solved as scientists discover where builders lived.
Inside the stones, there's little doors, isn't there?
Home of iconic landmarks, builders may have been the first city on Earth. Despite being one of Britain's best-known sites from 150 metres away.
Yes.
Stonehenge is still surrounded by mystery, as well as a cordon of 150 metres.
Okay.
The iconic structure was almost certainly built around 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And appears to have been built for mainly religious motives.
And sexual.
Probs.
It was like a shagging ground, wasn't it? Sex magic with a K.
But exactly who built it has long been the subject of debate.
Yeah.
The fact that over
slaves
40 of the stones that make up the site were dragged 180 miles from quarries in the Preseli Hills in Pembrokeshire, West Wales, suggests a huge organisation at a time when humans tended to live in small villages and the first recorded cities were only just beginning to develop in Mesopotamia.
Remind me to talk to you about Machu Picchu in a minute.
Brilliant. But there may have been a city closer to home. Dr. Albert Lynn believes he's uncovered the city where the builders of Stonehenge lived. Just 1 mile away from Stonehenge lies the prehistoric settlement of Blickmead.
Lickme?
Blick.
Lickme?
Blick.
South Africa?
Well, no, it's Blick, B-L-I-C-K.
Okay.
Mead, which he thinks was one of the first cities in Europe, if not the world. Blickmead was one of the important places for early humans that roamed here.
What you're doing there is you are...
Professor voice.
Yeah, you're saying that intellectuals are toffs, and I think that's unfair on thick kids.
Blickmead was an important place for the early humans that roamed here, maybe even one of the first manifestations of a human city, he told the Daily Telegraph. Yeah, he's probably posh. His colleague, University of Buckingham professor David Jakes, said the recent excavations at the site have changed our understanding about how these prehistoric Britons lived. At Blickmead, we found shed loads of stuff. Up until 2006, only 30 finds had ever been recovered from this period at any one site, and now we're up to more than 70,000, so it's been a total game changer. We're talking about a very small area that people were coming to again and again, and I think it was probably some sort of permanent settlement. So our ideas of how hunter-gatherers move around in dispersed communities needs to be revised. This makes Stonehenge more interesting because it gives it a longer history, linking it back to people from the Mesolithic. Blickmead really is the cradle of Stonehenge. Blake Mead then, innit?
So let's talk to Danny first. Good evening, Danny.
Hello, lady. Hello, man.
Yes.
Hello, call.
Yes, 12 cats. Ian, beat that.
Sorry?
I had 12 cats at one time once.
Did you? I bet your house really stank of cat piss.
Cat poo. No, I had Ken and Woody, and then we had Bob and Moogie, and they both had 4 kittens each, but then we had to get rid of 10 of them. Because my daughter came home from, she was born. And so we sent them, we gave some money to a charity, and they took them all. But now, I've got 4.
But here's the thing, you're an irresponsible human. Get your cats done.
We were told they were done when we got them.
Oh.
And they were only 9 months old, and neither of them had been done.
Oh, no!
So we paid to have them done, and I think I gave them about £100, and they took them all, because we couldn't have 12 cats now from your baby.
So how many? So what's the regular? Forget the 12. That's an outlier, as we would say in business. That's an outlier. What was the general mean average of cats?
Well, I've lived here since '93. I've had 23 cats, but keeping them all the time, I had 4. And then when they had kittens, we had to get rid of them. And then I had 6 up until a couple of years ago when one got hit by a car, one got bit by a fox. So now I have 4. I did have 6.
So you had 6 for a while. And it was 6 manageable, because I could potentially next week have 5.
Yeah, because I think you live like somewhere like I do, where there's lots of bushes, have a cat flat, and they can just come and go.
Cat flat and bushes, but there is a train track at the end of the garden.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's a proper working train track with trains and everything right at the end of the garden.
That would worry me a little.
It worries me a lot, and I've got to convince the RSPCA man next week that it's not a problem. And my argument will be I've got 3 cats that go out, and I know 2 of them cross the train track, and trains come every 15 minutes, and you can feel it about a quarter of a mile away, and they've been all right so far. But yeah, it is a worry. Of course it's a worry.
Yeah, well, if we can feel it, or you can feel it, then they're not going to go, oh, I shall wait here until the train comes. It's going to be crossing at the end of your garden for, 2 seconds, if that?
Yeah, well. It's not that, do you know what, it's not even that fast. It takes about 8-10 seconds. So it's, it's not an intercity or anything like that. It's
a slow trundle.
It's a slow trundle, and...
Well, I've had the slow trundle in my garden.
Unlucky, mate. Alright, so 5 cats I can cope with.
Yes, they're lovely.
They are the best.
Because wasn't you that didn't want one, and you got it because it was sad and it was looking at you, and you went, I'll have it anyway.
And I've not had a kitten since we had Toby when I was about 4, when we got Toby. And all my other girls, I mean, the girls were about 4 or 5, June, July, August, September, October, November. They were 5 months when I got them, so they weren't tiny kittens. These brother and sister, they're 10 weeks old. They're tiny.
Oh, it's really great. They're climbing up your legs. I've got my ones at the moment. They've got Lily, and then she had 2 kittens. She had some cats. She kept 2 of hers, and then we got her brother. So Lily and Bergie, and then we got their kids.
They're the best. Well, Kath's now in the cat club.
Yeah, I love it.
Best.
Oh, I've seen the picture of it. Grey one, fluffy thing.
I always get a nice little update of when we get home. We both just let each other know we've got home safe, because we're both normally quite tired when we're heading home. So it's kind of a little pattern we've got where we just text each other to say home. And now I get a nice little update of what Willow is doing when you get home.
She started to wait for me.
Yeah.
Well, cats are wonderful because they can go out and they're coming back. Dogs, they'll go out and you'll never see it again.
Yeah. Well, although when I was growing up, Danny, you're a similar age. When I was growing up in the 70s, you'd often see dogs walking themselves.
Yeah, quite regularly in my village. Someone picked up a little white fluffy dog earlier today, and they said, I found this walking around the road, and someone had a boxer that was running around. How do these animals get out?
Maybe they're hard. Well, of course, people don't really let their dogs out on their own now because of all the dog paedophiles. But in the 70s, dogs would take them. You often see dogs just out for a walk on their own, and they'd go home.
Yeah.
And now they don't do that. There's no white dog poo. What's the world coming to?
Thank you very much indeed, Danny. Pete says, why is a World War II RAF pilot talking about Stonehenge? I'm afraid I can't answer
Terrible
that,
impudence, sir.
There we go. 0344 499 1000. Christine, stay there. You'll be next. This is Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee. Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
I'm tired tonight, man. Really tired. It's getting cold, isn't it? Got into bed last night and just thought, I could really do with an electric blanket. They're expensive though, electric blankets. Expensive.
I thought you had one.
Got one in the eldest's bed. I haven't got one in.
Whack it on yours while he's not there.
It's not big enough, mate. My bed is huge.
Yeah, but you don't sleep on the whole thing, do you?
Yeah, but I like to sleep at the edge, so this would only cover the middle.
You not pull it over?
No, but it doesn't work like that because you've got cables sticking out and then you get the cable stuck in you. It will not work.
All you see is problems, I see solutions.
I've got a hot water bottle and I'll fill that up tonight.
All right,
that's what I'll do. Good evening, Christine.
Hello.
Hello, Christine. What have you got for us?
You was talking about Machu Picchu.
Oh, yes. Go on.
Have you been?
No, I haven't. Is it any good?
Well, my son has.
What does he reckon?
Unbelievable.
Load of old crap. Oh, it's good, is it?
Absolutely unbelievable. Have you ever watched Ancient Aliens on the telly?
No, I haven't, but I'm going to. It sounds right up my street. What is Ancient Aliens?
Well, every week they show you different places, and they're always in Machu Picchu, and they reckon that there's all flat surfaces, and they reckon that they don't know how these people put these buildings up, and they reckon it was aliens that did it.
Am I right that Machu Picchu was lost for a long, long time?
Yes.
Yeah, lost for centuries, thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it was rediscovered, and there was a bit of argy-bargy but I think it's in Peru with the Peruvians and the Americans, because the Americans nicked a load of stuff and said, oh, I heard a documentary on Radio 4, we're just looking after this stuff at Yale University, you can have it back, and then they never gave it back.
Are you interested in Machu Picchu then?
I am, because on the way home last night, I heard a little bit of a documentary about Machu Picchu on Radio 4 Extra.
Well, watch Ancient Aliens.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out. What channel is it on? The Bollocks channel? It's on, like, it'll be like one of those made-up channels that like.
No, I think it's Blaze.
Is what?
Dave. Dave.
Blaze.
Blaze?
Blaze.
Blaze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Blaze. I know Blaze. I do a lot of work for one of their sister channels, D-Max. So, all right, I'll check that out, Christine. Thank you. Did your when your son went there, did he feel like did he feel like he was touched? No, I mean, did he feel
by
like
the vibes?
Did he feel like a sort of magic vibe there?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He sent some, because he went travelling. I mean, he was sending me emails and loads and loads and loads of photos, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he said that he said that he reckoned that he felt like aliens had been there before, previous.
You can't argue. Here's the thing, Kath. You can't argue with that stuff. You can't argue with that.
He said that it was, if you saw the workmanship and that, he said, Mum, he went, there's no way. It's like the pyramids, you know, it's how they managed to do that thousands of years ago. He said, Mum, he went, definitely something went on there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nice one, Christine. I'm going to check that programme out.
Yeah, it's on Blaze. It's called Ancient Aliens. I think they've got it on Netflix as well.
Wicked.
If you've got Netflix.
I've got someone's login for Netflix. Christine, thank you very much for that. Pete says, I've not had a hot water bottle for years, but now you said that, I could really go for one. I found mine the other day. Michael says, I'm trying to buy the book, but the site keeps crashing. I think Lulu might be down actually tonight, so I'll retweet it tomorrow. Machu Picchu, right, was lost for thousands of years, right? And as you've just heard there, very special, mystical, magical.
Yeah, something went on.
Place. Something went on, we don't know what. I have a theory, as you know, that we came from Mars.
Yeah.
Like billion years ago, or whatever, I don't know. There was a nuclear war up there, there was...
Mayhem,
there was a ecological disaster, something, I don't know. But we came here, and then, but your argument is, well, why haven't we got the technology from then?
Yeah.
That's your argument?
Yeah.
Because we lost it. Just like we lost Machu...
Careless, isn't it?
Yeah, careless.
If you're moving a whole civilization, wouldn't you take care of that?
We didn't all make it.
Yeah. But the cleverest ones obviously did.
Machu Picchu is proof.
Yeah.
Machu Picchu was like this incredibly... Oh, my God. Machu Picchu, Michael and Dave will come to you in a minute if we have time, because I'm starting to lose my rag now. Machu Picchu was an incredibly advanced civilization. We lost it for thousands of years. We rediscovered it in the 1970s, but no one can understand what was going on because there was that break in the continuum. There was a gap between when it started and when it ended, so people can't understand it. So that gives credence to my argument that we wouldn't have the technology. Please let me finish before you start looking up at the sky and pulling a face. And stop laughing.
Stop trying to control my face.
Stop being a dick. That was beneath me. That was beneath me. That was beneath me. And I apologise. I would like to apologise to Amy that she heard me speak like that, Amy. I'm so sorry. That was beneath me. That was beneath me. Please don't tell HR. Because that will be beneath
like
you.
The 7th time he's called me a dick.
What I'm saying is...
He's the dick.
Right, you're right.
Go on, carry on with your theory.
I'll get lost. Let's go to Michael. Good evening, Michael.
Hello, Ian. How are you getting on tonight?
Very well, Michael. What can we do for you?
I'd like to let you know that Machu Picchu was founded by Harold Bingham in 1911. Did you know that fact?
I didn't know that fact, Michael. I'd love to hear some more facts.
Well, he was trying to find the gold, the lost gold of whatever it was called in the Amazon.
Yeah.
And he came across this in 1911. It's an amazing fact, you know, Ian. Anyway, what I rang was, you're getting some boring calls tonight.
Getting some very boring calls.
I thought I'd try and liven the thing up.
Okay. Yes, mate, do it.
Well, I've got some good news for you.
Oh, I
Good
can't.
nose.
I cannot wait for this. Go on. He's right. It was found by Bingham in 1911. So far, Michael is 100% spot on. So this is.
Well, I went to Peru in 1982. Ian,
apart from the wobbly accent.
What are you talking about
Did
there?
you go via Wales?
What are you talking about, Wales?
What are you talking about, lady? Go on. Yes.
Well, no, I thought I'd let you know the truth about what's happening. You know, Susan from Exeter rang me the other day.
Yes, oh God.
God almighty, what is the matter with that woman? No, she said that Leroy had let her down.
Oh.
I mean, could you tell me what she's on about there now?
I'm afraid I cannot help you there, Michael. Sit, Stand, Walk has done some work for us. I'm going to play this out. Why can't we hear it? Hang on a minute if I do that.
I wasn't insomniac. I wasn't
Insomniac, I'm asleep.
insomniac. I wasn't
I'm asleep.
insomniac. I wasn't
I'm asleep.
No, it's not what I can hear.
insomniac.
She's doing it wrong. First of all, I didn't know Sit, Stand, Walk was a woman. Just assumed it was a bloke. That's because I live in the patriarchy. And you've got to say it more. Insomniac. Do it like that. Insomniac. If you do it like that, that will play back. Oh, I'll just do it, and I'll get called a patter thief. Can you play stuff backwards, Amy?
I don't think so.
That sounds like a yes.
Find out.
That sounds like a yes to me. There must be a way. This is at the top of the range.
Hang on.
Come on. Okay. How do I record something?
Someone sent you something, didn't they? Of how to do it?
I wasn't really paying attention.
Yes.
What was it? Hang on a minute, Dave. Come to you in a minute, Dave. What did they send me? Oh, here we go. Reverse audio. All right, let's get accused of being a patter thief, but I don't care. This is done by Limmy the other day, and I'm totally copying it from Limmy. I get all my material from Limmy. All right, I want to be Limmy. All right. Reverse audio. Okay, reverse audio. Okay. What is this TikTok that everyone's going on about?
Oh, it's a thing.
Okay. Shall I get involved in it?
No.
Okay.
It's like the new Vine.
like the old Jeremy Vine.
Oof. He's a very big fan of yours.
Doesn't give me any work though, does it? Record yourself and replay it reverse. With a little bit of training, you can learn. Okay. Needs your permission to use your mic. Allow, yes. Allow, yes. Insomniac. Insomniac. Kein Mosney. Oh! Yes, mate! Totally, I've nicked it from Limmy. I'm going to say it again. I've nicked it from Limmy. Kein Mosney. Yes. I must sleep is what he's saying. Limmy, credit to Limmy. Credit to Limmy. Good evening, Dave.
Hi there.
We're heading towards the end of the show and I couldn't be happier. What can I do for you?
I'd like to talk about something because I've heard a few people phoning with, like, things.
Machu Picchu?
What it is I was, my mum died when I was young. And, I was getting picked on at school at the time and that. And, I must have been about 14 or 15 and that, and I was thinking about, killing myself or something.
Yeah, gosh.
And, one of the bullies who was picking on us, he just come up with your mum called such and such, and I'd never even mentioned her name at school and that. So, what do you think of that?
Well, there's a lot of information to take in. So how did he know your mum's name?
No idea.
Are you suggesting that maybe he was, like, psychic or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or maybe she was looking after us, like looking down on us and looking
Wow.
after us.
Well,
like
you know, possibly. How are you now, Dave? I'm guessing that was a while ago.
Yeah.
How are you, how are you now?
I'm not too bad now.
Yeah, you're doing alright?
Yeah.
And did the bullying carry on at school, or did it kind of calm down after a bit? It did.
It carried on till the last year I left.
Ah, mate, I'm sorry. That must have been really, really tough.
It was.
But you're doing alright now?
Yeah.
Still talk to mum, even though all these years later?
I still live with my mum at the moment.
Right, okay. Thought your mum passed away?
It's my stepmum I live with.
Okay, alright. Well, I'm sorry for your loss, Dave. And, you made it. You made it this far, brother, and that's got to be something to be celebrated.
Cheers for that.
Thanks a lot, man. Take care. Take care. Ah, dear, there's a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, and everyone's got a story, and everyone's been through something, and to some people, that thing they've been through might be nothing, but to others it's huge. Dave's obviously been through a lot, and he made it. He's out the other side. We're kind of almost done. We've got sort of 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes. I don't want to, do a new story now. I don't really want to discuss, Machu Picchu anymore because, I think you're being very childish.
I am.
About it, yep.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
You're being, why?
Why'd you say that?
Why?
When you take your paper to the Explorers Society, they're going to question you harder than me.
Why? So sit down walk is a woman, isn't it funny? I always thought it was a bloke.
I think I knew it was a woman.
Why?
Because she said.
Why?
Don't mock the way I speak.
Why?
It's just a noise now.
Why?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't believe it, mate. What are you wearing that for? We're going to a party. Hello, Darryl. Let me switch the lights on.
Hidey hi.
Hody ho.
What's going on?
It's bright. Bright and it's cold and I feel alive.
Feels like the morning after a sleepover. You know, you go to a sleepover.
Oh,
and
not for a long time, man. Although, having kids now, Actually, yeah, now I've kind of had like a sofa bed put in my shed and Wi-Fi, so the kids when they come, they just want to sleep in there. I go, yeah, but we've got beds.
Yeah.
Because they get the sofa bed and I have to sleep on the inflatable, so it feels like a sleepover every time the kids come over.
That's quite sweet, though.
It's lovely.
I like that a lot.
What is on yours? We're at 59, bang on, so we've got 120 seconds.
Loads of time.
Yes, man.
Loads of time. On the way, after 1 this morning, quite a few things actually. We're going to talk to a guy who does tours of haunted prisons. Have you ever fancied spending a night in a prison?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Right.
I'd like to go to prison
I've been to Alcatraz. It was enough during the day, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Towards the end of the day, when we were waiting for the boat to come back, I did have that kind of fantasy of what would happen if I got left behind.
I could escape
Terrifying.
Alcatraz.
You can't escape from Alcatraz.
Yes, you can.
No.
Clint Eastwood did. I could do it. I watched the film. I know exactly what to do.
Fair point.
I'd like to go to prison for a week.
Yeah. You need an extended period. Just a night wouldn't do you. I think you'd need a week.
Here's the thing, right? Prisoners are scumbags, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. They act like you smuggled it. You got a telephone. How did you get it in? Up my bum. So you think it's like this, right? It's not. They're tiny little phones.
Yeah.
They're tiny, like the size of cheap lighters.
Yeah.
I could get 5 of them up my arse.
The boys didn't know about the size of your anal cavity.
So what I'm saying is that the prisoners think they're big men shoving phones up their backside. Well, the phones are tiny. You get a lap book up there.
What now?
Lap book. Catherine, we're going off on a tangent. I really want Daryl to sell his show tonight.
Let's get away from bums then,
you
shall we?
You don't give him enough time to big it up, and I'm gonna cut across you now as we go over to Daryl. Yes, Daryl.
That, as well as, but speaking of Alcatraz, by the way, we had a guy on the show recently who did a bit of a ghost hunt there, and opening and closing doors, and like just weird stuff.
It's the most atmospheric place, even when it's full of people.
I can imagine.
I'm gonna cut across both of you, because now you, Daryl, you're cutting your own time down by engaging with her.
I was gonna gear change. I was gonna transition. It was a transition.
You haven't got time for a gear change.
No, it was good because we've also got, we're gonna speak to somebody about the most haunted house in Britain. It's been sold. Some amazing stories of the ghostly goings on in that place after 1. See, it works. I know what I'm doing.
I'll be the judge of that.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.